Xfinity Sports Network. So we were going through the names yesterday on who could replace Billy Napier at Florida. Now, he hasn't been fired yet, but he is going to get fired. That is the definition of a dead man walking. Now, the hot name is Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin. I don't think Lane Kiffin, I think there's a chance, but I don't think it's likely that he's going to leave Ole Miss for Florida. So after that, where do you go? Right? People have talked about Mark Stoops. People could talk about, let's see, who else were some of the names? Chris Kleiman. There's been other names that could get suggested. And I saw a report yesterday. I saw Jamie Chadwell was the favorite to get the job on the odds, which I thought Lane should have been. And then there was a report Florida's not looking for a G5 coach. They're looking for a coach that's coached at a big program before, a proven coach. Now, does that mean it takes the Georgia defensive coordinator out of the running? I don't know, because at least he's at a big program or you've had success. You're waiting for that next job. So there's been a bevy of names that have been floated out there to be the next Florida head coach. And Urban Meyer is not happening. Even Urban Meyer even said that. Yeah, he goes, that ship has obviously sailed. So when you go through all these names, you knew that someone was going to throw it out there. But just because you throw something out there doesn't mean that it's going to happen. You know, other names that we could consider for this job, the USF coach has been brought up, Eli Drinkowitz as well, the coach at Missouri. You could go through a lot of names that get tossed out there. But with that being said, I knew this name was going to get tossed out there in some way, somehow, because it's just easy. All right, it's an easy discussion point. Not that we do a show for clicks. Like, we don't need to be desperate to just throw something out there to throw something out there. But you knew some show was going to say, hey, Florida, call Nick Saban. Make Nick Saban say no. Which, don't get me wrong, I do think if you're Florida, you have to call the old ball coach and say, hey, Nick, you interested? You want to come to Florida? Miss coaching? Miss Terry make you do too many chores in the house? You know, you ready? You ready to come back to coaching? You won at LSU? You won all those championships at Alabama? Come win at Florida. Really stick it to Urban Meyer. Right? You got to have him say no. But that phone call is almost a waste of time. Because if you think Nick Saban is coming back, you are delusional, you are an idiot, or you have not paid attention to the reason why Nick Saban isn't coaching at Alabama anymore. Because Nick Saban would not have left Alabama. It wasn't like he had an issue with Alabama. He's still involved at Alabama. You know, I was trying to get DeBoer on this week, who comes on all the time. And I was trying to get Kalen DeBoer on this week, you know, maybe for the Georgia week. He would have a few minutes. He ended up not being able to do it. But the SID that I know at Alabama got back to me. He goes, oh, I'm still at Alabama, but I only do requests for Coach Saban still. And they have a different SID that does requests for Kalen DeBoer. So we were going through all those back channels and everything. So, like, Saban did not leave because he hated Alabama. He left because he hated the structure of college football right now, where he's a my way or highway type of guy. And it's like, oh, you go spend all this time getting a recruit, and they have a bad practice, so they don't like the way that Saban looked at you or talked to you, or because Alabama, right, is a program that isn't instant satisfaction, right? They have all the All-Americans all over the place, so you could be a great player, not play until consistently your junior year potentially, right? It's a certain structure. So Saban can spend all of his time getting this great recruit, and after 1 year, the kid goes, I'm going to the transfer portal. Now, I believe in the transfer portal. I believe in NIL. Right? We just talked about it with Dominic Easley. But doesn't mean that Saban, who is the GOAT and is the standard, needs to put up with all that stuff. And that's why he left. So, no, Nick Saban didn't leave Alabama to go become the coach of Florida a year from now. He didn't need to recharge the batteries. He didn't need to reset. Like, you never looked at Saban and said, oh, that guy looks old. Oh, and that guy looks like he's someone that should retire. No, he left because of the structure of college football. But anyway, here are our friends on XL Primetime 1010 XL Jacksonville. Matt Hayes talking about how the Gators should try to land the big fish, Nick Saban.
I 100% would take a run Nick Saban. 100%.
Yeah, why not?
I'd say, and Jimmy Sexton again. Jimmy, you think Nick has any idea or any inkling that he might want to come back? Because Nick talks about Florida all the time.
Yeah.
That Florida is just a coach away from being this huge monster. How much is it going to take?
Yeah, it would be very interesting to see if you could appeal to him in that way.
I don't think he'd do it, but my point is I still would do it.
Right.
If I was the Florida president, I would 100% do it.
He still has tuned out on the whole transfer portal and NIL. He has.
Plus, he's also really good on ESPN, so
the other one that
he's got a good job now.
I don't even get the conversations, though. For example, I understand the take business, right? If you're going to throw out that take, hey, and we basically just, discussing it, you got to make the phone call, but you know he's not going to take it. But if that's going to be your take, Florida needs to go get Nick Saban. You can't be like, I would call Nick Saban, I would try to sell him on Florida, but you know he's not going to take it. I don't even think you need to bring up that point if you're the local show there in Jacksonville and you're going to do that segment. You can't throw the idea out there and then right away just dump a bucket of cold water on it. Not that I am the radio professor and I need to teach everyone how to do radio, but if that's what you're going to do locally, and locally is different than nationally, have some fun with it. Don't be like, hey, let's say when Antonio Pierce inevitably fails, unfortunately still. The Raiders, they need to call Bill Parcells, and they need Bill Parcells to say no. He's not going to do it, but you at least got to call him. Just say the take. Just say simply, Florida needs to do their due diligence, and they need to call Nick Saban, and they need to roll out the red carpet for Nick Saban. That's all you got to do. But it's such a dumb conversation to be had because, as he said, that talk show host Matt Hayes on the back end of his conversation, he's not taking the job. So it's like, why are we even throwing that out there? I saw that Emmett Smith, by the way, our pal, was on Kay Adams' show, Up and Adams. And she asked him about Billy Napier and the future of Billy Napier. And Emmett Smith said, quote, "It's going to be very tough to watch this season. If coach is right, that he has nothing to worry about, he could see a fourth year. Kudos to him. But I'm not seeing it happen." Close quotes. It's a good line by Emmett Smith. 100% right. Does anyone actually think Billy Napier's coming back next year? With how bad this has been to start the season, how can it get better? How can you save your job? I'll give you the answer. You beat either Georgia or Texas. Does anyone think that's happening? I'm serious. Does anyone think that's how you play? You lost to Miami. Got blown out by Miami 41-17. You beat Samford. Woo! 45-7. You lost to A&M 33-20, and let's be real. That game was more of a beatdown than that. You play Mississippi State, who cares? UCF, who cares? Tennessee that doesn't save your job. Would be a great win, though. Doesn't save your job, would be a great win. Then you play Kentucky, Georgia, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, and Florida State. I'm sorry. When does he get fired? And maybe he just didn't want to do this to the interim. But if he gets blown out by Tennessee, if somehow he gets blown out by either Mississippi State or UCF, it's going to be tough, right? If they lose those games, I'm not saying they should win. They shouldn't beat anybody, quite frankly. I can't trust them to beat anybody. But if they get just embarrassed by Tennessee, you're only then keeping them around just to be the coach that gets blown out by Georgia and Texas. So he'll inevitably get fired. The question is just when. I think it's going to be really ugly against Tennessee. And then that's the game that's the final nail in the coffin. All righty, fun show today. Big thanks to Dominic Easley, Dan Mullen for coming on, Stuart Kovacs, Michael Samter, and each and every one of you. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. We out. Bye-bye. Peace. Football Football is back, and what better way to celebrate than winning some cash with Sleeper Picks? Sleeper Picks is a fantasy game, but you could win real money. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If your picks are right, you win. You could pick up to 8 players to win up to 100 times your money. And Sleeper has a couple huge offers to kickstart the football season. For new users, Sleeper will match your first deposit with up to $100 credit to your account. If you've already played, Sleeper's got discounted player projections for you every week of the season. So download the Sleeper app now and use promo code SCORE, and your first deposit will be doubled with a credit up to $100. What are you waiting for? Download Sleeper today and use code SCORE for a credit up to $100 match on your first deposit. That's code SCORE. Must be 18 years in most states and in state where it is legal. Promo code and other restrictions apply. Visit sleeper.com. Please wager responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-426-2537 for help. Paid for by Blitz Studios.
Advertisement sponsored by Allied Injury Group, not available in all states. This important message from Allied Injury Group reminds you that if you or someone you love was injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, you deserve financial compensation for your medical expenses, lost wages, pain, and suffering. Don't rely on insurance companies to look out for you. If you haven't spoken to an attorney, call our legal experts now. Work accident, truck accident, collision with an uninsured driver, or a slip and fall. Allied Injury Group has helped clients win hundreds of millions of dollars in damages. They're available 24/7 to take your call and fight for you. Remember, if you or someone you love suffered injuries in an accident that wasn't your fault, like being struck by a drunk driver, a collision with an 18-wheeler, were a victim of workplace negligence or more, get the financial compensation you deserve. Call Allied Injury Group for a free consultation now.
Call 800-894-6680. That's 800-894-6680. Again, 800-894-6680.
Attention all patriots. This is Jason Hansen, former CIA officer and security expert. I have an urgent message for anyone who's concerned about their financial future. In a world filled with economic uncertainty and geopolitical turmoil, it's never been more important to have a rock-solid plan for protecting your wealth. That's why I'm inviting you to a special financial briefing this Thursday. During this exclusive summit, you'll get proven top strategies for safeguarding your hard-earned assets and securing your financial independence. We'll cover everything from diversifying your portfolio to creating a fail-safe emergency fund. Don't leave your future to chance. Call my friends at Advantage Gold today at 800-741-GOLD to register at no cost whatsoever. In today's uncertain times, it's critical to have a solid plan in place to protect your finances and secure your future. Call 800-741-GOLD now to register for this 100% free summit. That's 800-741-GOLD.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There is a tremendous price war in the term life industry. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man aged 45, non-smoker, can get $1 million of coverage for $75 per month, level rate for 10 years. Or a man aged 50, non-smoker, can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of $110, level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-smoker rate class. Exam required to qualify.
Do you have over $10,000 in credit card debt? The stress from excessive credit card debt can ruin your life. Collection calls, sleepless nights. If you're feeling the financial impact with unprecedented economic challenges, DebtBlue is here for you. DebtBlue uses secret programs that most credit card companies won't tell you about. They'll help you consolidate or settle your debts for a fraction of what you owe. With DebtBlue's Success Guarantee, you pay nothing unless your debt is reduced or completely resolved. There's no risk. The more you owe, the more DebtBlue can save you. See how easy it is to get started with free information. Let DebtBlue show you how 10 minutes could save you thousands. Call now. 800-200-6895. That's 800-200-6895.
I'm just living sky high right now. I'm very thankful for it. And the team at DebtBlue are phenomenal. They're able to work with you. They're great.
Call for your free debt resolution information now. 800-200-6895. 800-200-6895.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex Primetime, hosted by Jalen Gillis.
Act like y'all know.
Weekdays 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas #1 leader in sports. Centex Sports Network.
That's right, sports fans. We can talk about sports.
And Infinity Sports.
Holy what is that?
It's time to get in the game.
You know what time it is.
Tune in to Primetime Sports Talk with Jalen Gillis.
To me, you are nothing.
Your go-to source for breaking sports news in Central Texas and exclusive Dallas Cowboys coverage.
Start it up, let's go.
Catch us Monday through Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. on the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back into another episode of Centex Prime Time. I am your host, Jalen Gillis, as we bring you guys through the primetime topics and not just Central Texas sports, but sports all over the nation. Happy Friday Eve to everybody, as we're one day left here during the week before you can get to your weekend and you guys can get to watching some really good football games that are coming up this weekend, and it starts tonight with the Jets at the Patriots tonight. I believe I seen a stat earlier that said the Jets haven't won. The Jets haven't won at Foxborough and at their stadium in New England since 2015. So just about 10 years they haven't won in that stadium. This is probably their best chance to do that tonight, but we'll talk about that as we get throughout the show, everybody. I want to thank you guys for watching with us, not only today, but all week long, whether that's been on Centex Sports Network on the YouTube, over there, Centex Sports TV, or whether it's Centex Sports Network on Facebook. And for those of you on the app that want to listen to this content from wherever you're at, you can go to CentexSports1.com, or you can download the app Centex Sports One on the Google Play Store and on the Apple Store as well. Folks, a lot of good football games to talk about coming up this weekend. A lot of different topics with some things that have taken place this week. Joining me today on the show, I've got Kyrell Gibson on here with me, and we'll have some more guests jump on as we move throughout the show. Kyrell, what's going on?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Hey, nothing much. Getting ready for these games tonight, and later, probably beginning hour number 2, I'll give you a sneak peek. I'll give everybody a sneak peek at some of the picks that have been made on here by somebody that's a regular on the show, and Rocky Miller, and we're going to have a new segment coming out that's going to air next week about how you can get right with your sports bets, with your over-unders, with your spreads. However you're doing it, we're going to get you guys right, and that'll start next week. But we'll give you a couple of sneak peek of those picks as we get later into the show. So, folks, starting today, been hearing some chatter from different sports networks and social media as well about what is going to come of the Florida State coach, Mike Norvell. We know last year this team went undefeated, had a major gripe in going undefeated and didn't make it into the college football playoffs. And there's not much more you can do with that. You go out there and you win every game. I know their quarterback got hurt, Jordan Travis, but you go out there and you win all your games that are in front of you. You expect to be in the playoffs, especially with multiple one-loss teams getting into the playoffs last year, a la Texas or Alabama last year as well. So Florida State did have a gripe for not getting in. Now, do I think they would have done anything if they got in? No, not necessarily. They probably would have got beat up on, but they still earned the right to be able to go out there and defend themselves, really. I mean, they went undefeated. They didn't lose a game until they got to the bowl game and got blown out. And that led into this season, them coming back. This was supposed to be the revenge tour. Yeah, they lost some guys. They lost Jordan Travis. They lost Keon Coleman to the draft. They lost Jared Verse to the draft, who's on the Rams. But you still expected this Florida State team to come out and make some noise. They were the number 10 team coming into the season. They played the first game of the football season in Dublin, Ireland. They got a new quarterback that used to be at Clemson and Oregon State, and DJU. Brought him in, thought it was going to be a pro-style offense, and these guys were going to be able to, get some wins out here. It has not went like that at all. They picked up their third loss in a row, putting them at the bottom of the ACC, who I think is probably the bottom of the Power Four conferences between Big 12, Big 10, and SEC. ACC is definitely at the bottom of that list, and they're at the bottom of that conference. Coming into the season, they had expectations, like I said, to be able to do some big things, maybe not go undefeated again, but they still were expected to be able to compete at a high level. Thus, why they came in at number 10 in the country. They lose to Memphis, who Memphis is a pretty decent team, though. You know, they're 3-0. But obviously, you expect Florida State to be able to come out with the win in this game. That was not the case. DJU struggled once again in the game, 16 for 30, 201 yards, and a pick. They really have no running game total. They had 37 yards rushing in the game. You're just not really getting any production from the offensive side or the defensive side, as Memphis was able to go 25 for 38 in the passing game, 272 yards and a couple touchdowns. On the other side for Florida State, just hasn't looked good. Now, yes, I'm not a believer in their quarterback. I do think he is somewhat to blame for this. But Mike Norvell, he's seen his last days of Florida State. This is it for him. I'm not sure where he goes from here. I'm sure he'll get another job somewhere. But even after an undefeated season, I'm trying to think. I can't think of another fall off this big. I probably have to go all the way back to Auburn with Cam Newton. But Cam Newton is why they were that good. It wasn't, nothing about the Auburn program building to that. They really just had a superstar player and somebody I think is probably the best player in the last 15, maybe 20 years in college football, and Cam Newton. But this fall off was not expected at all. They started off the season 0-3, and then just looking at their schedule, I can't just definitively say where they're going to pick up a win here. They got Cal this week, which is, that definitely should be a win, but I thought Memphis would have been a win. So this game is up in the air. They got SMU after that, and then they got Clemson. It's a possibility this team could be 0-6 going into that game against Duke. So, a major, major drop-off for Mike Norvell. Not sure where he goes from here. I just know it won't be coaching the Florida State Seminoles after this year. I'm actually honestly surprised that he's still there coaching right now. So, Kyra, what are your thoughts about Florida State, how they've done to start this season off, and Mike Norvell's future there?
Man, it's abysmal. It's pretty bad, man. 0-3. I'm looking at the schedule. Like you said, man, I don't really see where they're going to pick up a win at. You had a very strong season last year, but that's probably proven to be more of a result of the ACC. You had your starters sit out in the bowl game, and you got trumped in that one, man, really badly. I don't know what happened. What has happened to this program? You had a 10-win season, pretty good. That's actually very, very good. But then follow it up with an undefeated season, or where you think you should have been in the college football playoff. They made the right decision, obviously.
Yeah.
But two successful seasons, and then you get this kid at quarterback from the Stroud and Bryce Young class, the one that didn't pan out, I guess. But you starting the season 0-3, lose to Memphis. Boston College, Georgia Tech. This is Florida State, man. This is I don't know what to call this, man. We might be seeing a Texas-like stuff. These past years from Florida State. I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have to. They're already doing that. Really, is just roots recruiting. Miami, Tallahassee, just really getting those guys, but they're doing that. Their recruiting rankings these last 4 or 5 years, right around 15 to 25. They haven't had a bump.
Yeah.
So I'm just confused on what's missing. So you got to look at Norvell. DJU, man, I'm gonna put some blame on him too. It's been terrible everywhere. So I don't know what to to talk about, man, but I hate to pile on to the pile of manure, but it is what it is, and some people have to go. I seen that dude in that commercial, the quarterback, man. Give me that NIL deal back. This is pathetic. I don't see a win coming. I mean, I know Memphis is a good program. Boston College has a great coach, and I want to say is it the old Texas coach?
For who? Boston College?
Boston College?
No, that's Bill O'Brien.
Right. So Bill O'Brien, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's another good coach, great understanding of the game. I want to give you a break. But if you go out there against Cal, and that game is, you don't show me something, a win, definitely a win, but I need to see a statement win. Oh yeah, if I'm the AD man out there, what do I got to lose? Y'all are 0-4. Bye.
Yeah.
I don't know his contract situation, but dude, I'm running Florida State, and you got us 0-4 in the state of Florida. There shouldn't be a team that's around, man. In these states, Florida, Texas, that's a major program, a top 3 program in the state, is going 0-3 in anything.
Yeah.
You got all the kids, literally.
All the recruits
How
right there.
Are you bad? This is pathetic, and I don't even care about Florida State, man. But I'm just like, how do you do this poor of a job? And I get Florida. I can't Florida's record right now, but these teams that fall off, Texas when they fell off, how?
Yeah, didn't make sense.
It's got to be a culture thing. It's got to be a program thing. And you know what? I'm gonna bring it up. You got these dudes going through the motions, doing quarterback drills. I seen an assistant coach chasing the dude around with a water gun. I'm not even joking. That was really going on in practice. A coach was chasing the player in full pads with a water gun, super soaker. In practice. And
What drill is that supposed to be?
Man, it don't matter. Why are y'all laughing? Y'all just lost. Y'all 0-2 at this point. I think this came out after the first, I think it was after 0-1.
Yeah.
But this is like after the first loss. That really happened. It's on there. If I'm the AD, boy.
Yeah. There's got to be some changes after that.
I'd be in HR for the way I'm about to fire this dude. Because it's not going to be ugly. It's not going to be pretty, man. Are you kidding me? This is a joke. And I hate to be so dramatic, man, but I'm Jalen. Like, this is a real video on the internet. Y'all are 0-1. I can't remember who they got. It was Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Y'all 0-1. And the coaches is chasing players around with a super soaker during practice. DJU was running a drill, bro.
Nah.
Yeah, that's the state. Mike Norvell gotta go. And if I'm talking about, man, you can't get on the bus if y'all lose this game.
No, you can't get on the team plane, the team bus, whatever y'all taking. Oh, it's at home. Yeah, you can't even get back. You lose your parking pass that day.
Oh yeah, Jamal Adams quit when he pulling on the door. Exactly like that.
Yeah, not for real. He tries to get back into work the next day, and it doesn't work. But, yeah, I think he's got to – I already thought he should have been gone. But if he loses this game against Cal, which I don't see how they're going to win. Cal is 3-0. Cal is coming to this game 3-0, and they beat Auburn. It's not like Auburn's good, but they're not out there playing, Western Kentucky State, JUCO, that some of these other teams play. They playing, serviceable teams, and they're 3-0. So – I don't see Florida State winning this game. And after they lose to Cal, you got to go. Not only are you 0-3, but you're 0-2 in the conference to start the season. So you're automatically out of any bids, even if you had some type of miracle turnaround, you're automatically out of any bids to probably get into the conference championship game, which gets you out of the automatic bid to get to the college football playoffs. If they lose to Cal, man, it's time to go. It's time to make some changes. Somebody on that assistant coaching staff can coach the rest of the year out, and we'll just revise this thing and go back to the drawing board till next year. So that game is at 6 o'clock this Saturday with Florida State. A lot of question marks around that program. So they got a lot to do and a lot of things to be answered. That, like I said, that game's at 6. Cal, they're 3-0. I'm taking Cal. Cal right now or Florida State is a favorite in this one by 2.5 points. I'm not sure how, but I might need to tell Rocky to add that to his list because I'm taking the points with Cal plus 2.5. That's crazy. Florida State ain't done anything to make y'all think. I know Cal is Cal, but at least they got wins. Florida State ain't won a game in 8 or 9 months, so I don't see them pulling this one out. But like I said, that game's at 6 o'clock on ESPN2. So to another program that had a lot of question marks around it, fired a coach, brought a new coaching regime in, started the season off not so hot, but has made a change in some personnel, and I think that might actually have helped this team be able to do something, and that's the Texas A&M Aggies. Know there's a bunch of Aggies that listen to this podcast or to this show and that listen to this station as well. I mean, I'm not a fan of Texas A&M whatsoever, but I am a fan of them making changes in order to try to save their season. They had Connor Wigman starting them first couple games. They came out against Florida, and they put a new guy in there at quarterback, Marcel Reed, a young dude, a freshman out of Nashville, Tennessee. He's got an arm. He can move the ball a little bit. He can run with the ball. He shows some athleticism out there. I watched him against Florida, and Florida is nothing to write home about at all. I don't think Florida's good. They're pretty much right in that same boat with Mike Norvell in Florida State. Their head coach is finna get fired too at Florida. But they do get a win over Florida with Texas A&M after they lose to Notre Dame to open the season. They replace Connor Wigman at quarterback. They bring in Marcel Reed. And they make some changes. They did something. Florida State didn't bench the quarterback or the coach. They're just going throughout the motions and just going, as Kyrell said, getting shot by water guns, chased around by water guns. So they're just out there going through the motions. Texas A&M is at least saying, hey, we got to do something different. They bring in a young kid. He's a freshman. Yeah, he's probably a little rough around the edges right now, but he got potential. And he came out there and he played pretty good. He led them to a win. Their rushing attack was good against Florida. They were able to run the ball successfully. They were able to throw the ball successfully. He had 2 touchdowns, 178 yards, and no picks. The no turnovers is the best part about it. But then he added another 83 yards rushing on top of that with a rushing touchdown. I like this Marcel Reed kid. I got a chance to watch some of that game, and I think Florida should have done what A&M did, and Florida should have played their young guy. And DJ Lagway, who was another one of those Texas kids that shouldn't have got out of Texas. Too many schools down here for a kid this talented at the quarterback position to have gotten out of Texas, but he did. And he's down there in Florida, and I thought they should have played him. He played good in their second game. Then they benched him and brought in Graham Mertz, let him play some more. He didn't do much, so then they tried to bring Lagway in at the end to see if he could save the day. Well, it's too late now. But on the A&M side, I like the QB change. I like what they're doing down there at A&M. Le'Veon Moss had a good game running the ball. We know he's dangerous with the ball in his hands. But this running game just gets more dangerous when you add in a guy like Reed out there at A&M. So looking at their schedule going forward, now this A&M team got a chance to make some noise. Now they got some tough games in here. They got to play Texas. That's their last game of the year. And they're probably going to get smoked by Texas. But they got a lot of winnable games in between there. I'm not going to pick them to beat Missouri, but they can beat Arkansas. They can definitely beat Mississippi State. And they can beat LSU, who's shown to be vulnerable. They almost lost to South Carolina, who's another good team in this SEC that they got to play. And then they play Auburn and Texas to end it out. So there's some winnable games in there for A&M. They've got time to save their season, even though it looked shaky to start it off. And they might bounce back and actually make some decent noise in this SEC. Kyra, what do you think about the QB change at Texas A&M and just what they're doing down there in College Station?
Yeah, that kid's proof, man. I caught a little bit of this game. I saw the quarterback change, and he definitely electrified the offense. I didn't hear what the coach said about the situation. You know, most of the news cycle this week has been all over, offense. But I like this kid, man. Like, he's not super polished, but he just makes winning plays. Like, he's taking off when he's taking off. He's completing the best he needs to. You know, he had a couple misses in there, but 83 rushing yards, man, or however many it was, like, he's a weapon.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes in college football, that's all you need to make a difference. So if I'm Texas A&M, you know, I might be considering putting whatever his name is on the corner on the shelf. Like, it just too much. It just adds too much versatility to your offensive game. Like, you gotta have escape plans, you know. And unless your quarterback is just really that guy with his arm, then I think the dual threat is always a better option, especially if, you know, he's electrifying the offense, like the energy of the offense. And that's what I saw. I don't know how good he's going to be as a player. And, you know, I'm not going to say he's all SEC type player, man, but I'm just talking about the energy that I saw from that drive and then on. Yeah, like, as a team look like they like this dude, man, and they're going to, you know, he's striking some thunder in him, man. So I think you got to go with Marcel Reed. He impressed me. So what you got to lose? You're not winning the SEC.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not happening.
That's not happening.
So the best thing you can do is compete. Right now, man, it doesn't look like you're going to be doing too much of that with your day one starter. And that's okay. That's really all I got to say about it, man. Like, you know, I really don't want to heap too much praise on A&M.
Yeah.
My stomach's starting to hurt.
No, seriously. Definitely not Aggie fans over here. Sorry to all the Aggie fans that we got to watch the show with us. But y'all understand. Y'all understand. Either you root for A&M or you root against them. It's just one of the two. They're kind of like the Cowboys. Either you root against them or you root for them. There's no really in between with them. But I agree with what you said, man. He just brings a jolt of energy into this team and especially into this offense. And I'm definitely agreeing with your point about the dual threat. In college, I'm going for the dual threat. The pro-style guys, yeah, they work if your team is good. But your team can be sorry with a dual threat. And we've seen what a Cam Newton is able to do. Not saying that this guy or anybody is going to be Cam Newton, because he might be, to me, a top 5 college football player of all time, probably top 3 college football player of all time. But you saw what he was able to do with a subpar program in Auburn. Nobody went to the league on that team, I think, besides Nick Fairley, the D tackle. I know for sure nobody on that offense went to the league, and he was able to get them to a national championship and win because he was so dangerous as a thrower and as a runner as well. I mean, we just seen multiple guys over the years, especially at A&M with a Johnny Manziel. Yeah, he had an arm and could throw, but he was dynamic running the ball as well. So this guy just brings some more magic into this offense. He gives them some more options of what they can do, and the offense just doesn't look so stagnant. It looked like it was hurting to play offense the first couple weeks, even though they blew out a sorry team in week 2. But that Notre Dame game, I mean, it's like it hurt to be out there playing. So I'm excited to see what this young kid can do, man. And I'm gonna have to keep my eye on A&M, like you said. I don't like giving them too much praise over here on this show, but I got to keep my eye out on them and see what this young kid is going to be able to pull off for the remainder of the year. Folks, I want to thank everybody that's been watching with us so far. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we got more college football to talk about. We still got to talk about Colorado versus Baylor coming up this weekend. We got to talk about Texas moving up to number 1, and we're going to give you who we think the best conference is in college football. So stay tuned right here on Centex Primetime. We're going to be right back after this short break.
Are you looking for something new and unforgettable in Waco? Come to the Blasian Asian, where authentic Cambodian flavors meet creative culinary flair. Voted People's Choice as Waco's #1 Asian restaurant since 2019 by both the Wacoan Magazine and the Waco Tribune Herald. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin, we're serving up family recipes with a twist. Blasian Asian egg rolls are rolled fresh daily, and their sauces or marinades are made in-house with love. Stop by today. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin. And for Baylor students, enjoy 10% off with your student ID.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex Primetime, hosted by Jalen Gillis.
Act like y'all.
Weekdays 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas #1 leader in sports. Centex Sports Network.
That's right, sports fans. We can talk about sports.
And Infinity Sports.
NSJ Event Co., one of the premier event designers in Central Texas and a Centex Sports Network supporter. Voted Waco Awards Event Planner of the Year 2021, NSJ Event Co. is your go-to source for event planning. Whether it's your next baby shower, birthday bash, wedding, or retirement party, NSJ Event Co. will bring out the elegance, class, and style your event deserves. Call NSJ Event Co. at the number on the screen or scan the QR code to schedule a free consultation. NSJ Event Co., where the party lady takes care of all your event needs.
The East Waco Empowerment Project, along with City Center Waco, is hosting WeBo, Workshop and Business Opportunity, to help create more entrepreneurs. Business owners like Aniceto Charles of True Jamaica Restaurant and Carla Dotson of Boardwalk on Elm attended WeBo to develop their business ideas into successful Black-owned businesses right in the heart of East Waco. WeBo can also help you turn your side hustle or business idea into the next thriving Black-owned business in our community. If you would like to attend this 10-week intense entrepreneurial workshop, go to WeBoWaco.org. That's WIBO Waco.org. Space.
When you suffer an injury at home, work, or on the road involving a car, 18-wheeler, or motorcycle, the first thing you need to do before calling anyone is dial 1-800-INJURIES for locally owned and operated the Zimmerman Law Firm. Hey, this is Big Rich, and the Zimmerman Law Firm has represented thousands of Central Texans in the last 50-plus years and handled more personal injury cases than any other local firm. When you call the Zimmerman Law Firm, you talk to a lawyer, no matter how big or small your case, and they guarantee you're financially taken care of because they only get paid when you win. Hey, don't just take my word for it. Heart of Texas Reader's Choice has named Zimmerman Law Firm the best in Waco. So remember, if you get injured at home, work, or on the road, it just takes one call, y'all, to 1-800-INJURIES or zlawhelp.com for the Zimmerman Law Firm and tell them I told you to call. Principal Office, Waco, Texas. No fee unless you recover.
It's the family feels for me. The banana pudding peach cobbler make you want to holler for me. It's the candy yams, mac and cheese, beef tips, pork tips and rice, collard greens. It's a sweet potato pie, sweetie. Fried chicken you've been missing, the lemon sweet tea dressing on Sundays when you all dressed up. Chest pie, buttermilk, and pound cake. Cornbread with butter just dripping, always fresh baked. If you need Southern style, soul food, home cooked meals that you can feel. Chicken and dumplings, chicken pot pie. 719 South 11th Street. Sassy's, come on by.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex Primetime, hosted by Jalen Gillis.
Act like y'all.
Weekdays 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas #1 leader in sports. Centex Sports Network.
That's right, sports fans. We can talk about sports.
And Infinity Sports. This is live from the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports Studios.
That's right, sports fans.
About to show these boys how we do it. You ready?
Tune in to Primetime Sports Talk with Jalen Gillis, your go-to source for breaking sports news in Central Texas and exclusive Dallas Cowboys coverage on the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports.
Welcome back in, folks, to Centex Primetime here on Infinity Sports Radio Central Texas and on Centex Sports Network as well. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us today. If you're on YouTube, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the bell so you can get a notification every time that we go live, 5 to 7 weekdays right here. We'll be here bringing the sports knowledge that we do have directly to you. I am your host, Jalen Gillis, still here joined by Kyrell Gibson, as we just got done talking about a few college football teams, and we're going to stay right there on the college football train and talk about the team that's moved up to the #1 spot now in the Texas Longhorns. Recent news just came out. Arch Manning will be starting the game this weekend against Louisiana Monroe. That's not a shocker, especially after how well he played against UTSA. It's definitely not a shocker. I think they should probably sit him. I think PJ said it a couple days ago as well. They should probably sit him till about that Oklahoma game, just so Quinn Ewers can make sure he's back right. Because now that you moved up to #1, and even before you moved up to #1, this team has a chance to win a national championship, something that I haven't said about Texas in a long time, or anybody has said about Texas in a long time. Even last year with them going to the playoffs. I didn't think they had a chance to win a championship. Honestly, I thought they were maybe good enough to beat Alabama. I didn't think they were good enough last year to beat Georgia. Or obviously they didn't beat Washington, and they weren't good enough last year to beat that Michigan team. But this year is a completely different story, and I think these dudes have the guns to be able to take out anybody in college football, and they're going to play the top guys. And if they beat Georgia, who they'll play on October 19th, they're going to have a chance to play against the Alabama potentially in the SEC championship or Ole Miss in the SEC championship. They don't play them in the regular season, but they still got the SEC championship game. And the only 3 ranked teams even left on the schedule for Texas is Oklahoma, who I think they should beat, Georgia, that's a toss-up game. I'll take Texas in that one, especially after how Georgia looked against Kentucky. And Texas A&M are on their last game of the season, which I believe they'll be able to win, even though it will be a tough environment. They're playing that at A&M. So this Texas team, like I said, has got a chance to do something I didn't think that they had a chance to do or wouldn't have a chance to do for some years to come, but they got a chance this year to be able to go out there and win a national championship. Not only do they have a chance to go undefeated, I think they can win the SEC championship game, and I think they can take out, like I said, anybody. I mean, it's a toss-up between them and Ohio State on who looks the best. We'll still see as we progress in the season how Ohio State is going to look as they play some better competition. But right now, Texas is number one for a reason. They look the best out there, even though the SEC is completely – I mean, they're loaded. This is probably one of the more loaded conferences I've ever seen, and we'll talk about that a little bit in a second. But this SEC is loaded, but this Texas team is loaded as well. And most of those top teams in the SEC, they don't play. They're not playing LSU this year. They're not playing Alabama in the regular season. They're not playing Ole Miss. They're not playing Tennessee. They're not playing Missouri. All those teams are ranked, and they don't have to play them in the regular season. So they got a chance to really make some noise here. Kyrie, I know you're a Texas fan, man. So what do you think about Texas' chances to be able to come out with the win? I mean, to be able to win a national championship this year?
To be honest, I'm honestly waiting until I can see that SEC championship game. Okay. That's really what I'm waiting for. Like you highlighted earlier, man, all the strong teams are, they're not playing. Mm-hmm. And despite how good Texas looked against Michigan, they look great. I do think they're a top 4 team, but I just think, man, you got to play somebody. You have to. So I'm not really ready to give them that top of the line, like they're they're just going to be overshot like Georgia has been these last couple of years or, something like that. Mm-hmm. I think they still got something to prove. But they look good, man. Like, they are loaded. That line looks great on both sides, and then their skill players are carrying the load. Isaiah Bond looks like he's going to be an NFL talent. And then, they have two good quarterbacks. But I really wanted to see them play, LSU, Bama, and, that's what we were excited about. Not Oklahoma. We see that every year. It's going to be exciting to see A&M again. I think they should be on the schedule, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they're the last game of the season.
Yeah, so that's going to be exciting too. But I expect Texas to whoop on everybody that's on that schedule. Georgia struggling against Kentucky. They might not be who we thought they were anymore, So, or maybe Kentucky's just better. Who knows? But, man, I'm not ready to put them on this pedestal there that the media is already putting them on. Like, okay, cool. They're one. Great. That means nothing right now. Let's see them play Georgia. Let's see them play. I expect them to trump Oklahoma. I really don't see anybody on the schedule outside of Georgia that's going to give them a problem. I think they're going to bully in the trenches everybody they play until they get to Georgia. And then we'll really see. Now, if they go out there and they win that game, I don't need to see a convincing team. I just need to see them win. Then I'll be like, yeah, they can play Ohio State or Alabama. Because I know people have their opinions about Jalen Milroe, but, man, that dude was a player.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about him, but he's good. I don't care what nobody says.
The lank.
He's really good. Yeah, like, yeah, let him know. So, I'm still liking Ohio State and what they got going. I like Alabama and what they got going, and I like Texas. So we'll see, man. I'm not eating the pie yet, though, man. Let's see something a little bit better than UTSA and a washed up Michigan team. Like, they don't look good. No, they ain't look good in no weeks. No. So I'm not. I can't put no stock in that, man. It's exciting though, because you know how we feel about Texas recruiting, man. Like, sick of these kids going to these other schools.
Yeah, don't
Ohio
make
State
sense.
Coming way down here and taking our best receivers. Like, that's crazy. No, these kids should be at Texas schools, and if they can't go to all the Texas schools, they should at least go to Texas.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not counting them up.
Well, I'm definitely not counting Oklahoma for sure.
Yeah, I don't want them to have nothing. For some engineers out. But yeah, man, it's exciting though, man. You know, I love when Texas is good. It's good for football. I don't like to see any powerhouses down. That's including my Florida State rant. The things I say about Florida, University of Florida. I don't want to see any of these teams, these big schools down. Like, college football is just better when everybody's strong, everybody's recruiting in state and getting their players and putting the best players in their state up. That's what this is about. Yep. My state is better than yours. Texas football is where ain't nobody playing with us. So I don't want to. It's not about Longhorns for me, man. It's about the great state of Texas and where football is really played in. So that's all it is. Well, I'm not gonna trump them. No, I'm not gonna. Hey, that number one means nothing to me.
Yeah,
I'm waiting on Georgia.
Yeah, that's going to be the real litmus test. They got Oklahoma and Georgia back to back, and like you said, college football is just better when all these teams are good, man. So I'm ready for the Florida States and the Floridas to get back good. I mean, I miss the times when you had a Colt McCoy at Texas, and you had a Sam Bradford at Oklahoma, and you had Alabama with what they were doing, just starting their run and their championship run, and you had Tim Tebow at Florida. We had a time where, like you said, those big programs were all dogs. Now, by that time, I think USC had started to fall off, but still, majority of those big programs were dogs, and I'm agreeing with you with Texas. I think they do have enough guns to be able to go out here and win a championship, but just them being number one right now is not just going to up and over just prove it for me of they're going to be the best team and they can beat everybody. They still got to go over there and beat Georgia. They got to prove it. Ohio State's still going to be tough. Like you said, Alabama, I know it's the post-Saban era, but these are still all Saban players, and they're still good right now. We know their coach knows how to coach because of what he did at Washington, and he still got all of Nick Saban's players right now. So they're going to be a problem as they move forward, not only in the SEC, but in this college football playoffs, and then all these other super loaded teams in the SEC. Folks, we got PJ calling in with us, another friend of the show's on here all the time, and we know he's definitely a Texas fan as well, so I wanted to get his opinion. We were on there talking about, does Texas have enough to go out here and win a national championship? They're number one now. That's all it takes for the Texas fans to start standing up and beating their chest and saying, yeah, it's time. We're going not only to the college football playoffs, but we're going to win this thing. And they got a real chance to be able to do that. Obviously, they've got depth at quarterback. Their backup comes in and looks like he would start anywhere else, which we know he would. He was the number one quarterback in his class. Their receivers are crazy. The running backs, everybody on the team, they're deep at every position. Does Texas have enough to be able to go out there and win a championship this year, in your opinion?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this team is possibly one of the deepest teams that we've seen in just the last few years. If you just look at every position on the team, I mean, the wide receiver core is extremely deep. I mean, they got guys in the wide receiver core, man. I mean, they'll be starters at any other college.
Anywhere.
And a few of them have. A few of them already have. Guys like Isaiah Bunn, Matthew Golden. Mm-hmm. I mean, these guys are deep. And then I don't know if there's ever been a time, or I know for sure I don't remember a time where one college had two quarterbacks on their roster who were number one in their class.
Yeah, I think you got to go back to
that's crazy.
Tim Tebow because Tim Tebow wasn't number one in his class, so no, I can't think of that.
That's crazy when you think about it. Both Quinn and Arch were both number one in their classes, so they have. I mean, yeah, for sure they got they got the people, they got the coaching. I mean, everything to win a championship this year. Yeah, as a fan, I'm just taking it one week at a time. You know, I'm not really trying to rush all the to the college football playoffs and be like, oh yeah, well we're gonna do this in the playoffs and we're gonna get to the championship. Just take it every 1 week at a time. Whoever's on your schedule, just worry about them every week, and then just keep going like that. But I am excited to see the team and how they look. This kind of what I thought when Sarkisian first came in. This is kind of what I thought that he would end up bringing Texas into becoming. I really, really, really like Steve Sarkisian, bro. I really would love
great
him
coach.
to be Texas. Yeah, he's a great coach, bro. Like he's a great coach. Like I would really want him to be Texas Longhorns coach for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
For years to come. And I mean, at the rate that he's going, I mean, he could easily be that.
They're gonna give him them Mac Brown deals.
Oh yeah, for sure. And my thing with him is this though too. Even if they don't win the championship this year, it's like I told people last year when we got to the college football playoff. We were already ahead of schedule last year.
Way ahead.
They were ahead of schedule. So even if they don't make it to the championship this year, the fact that you got Texas as the #1 school in the country again, that's you're ahead of schedule. Nobody thought that they would be here this fast.
Mm-mm.
This was supposed to be a 5, 6 or 7 year, rebuild. When he got to Texas, a lot of guys weren't coming to Texas when he first got. Like when he got there, he got there honestly. People weren't really coming to Texas like that. Baylor was just good 2 years ago when they made it to the Sugar Bowl.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you had other schools that were coming into the state of Texas and grabbing a lot of these guys. You had guys like LSU that were coming in, getting a lot of people. Georgia was coming in. Ohio State lived in the DFW for about a good decade.
Yeah.
So
seriously.
Like Jeffrey Okuda, guys like that was coming out of my class. Baron Brownie, they came out of my class of 2017 that went to Ohio State. So Ohio
Aaron
State
Wilson, Lake Travis.
Yeah, Lake Travis. Like LSU lived in Houston, in the Houston area. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah.
It's different now where a lot of these guys. The cool thing is to go to UT again. It's cool to go to UT again, and you're starting to see it, man. And these guys, they just got so much swagger. It's just wonderful to see it, man. Because it's kind of like Kyrell was saying. I'm excited to see whenever these main programs like a Miami, Florida. I mean, probably not right now for Florida, but for Miami, Ohio State. When all these schools are really good, even Oklahoma. All these schools are good. It's just better for college football. And then with the whole new conferences that just came in, it's a lot of parity right now in college football, including because of NIL as well. You're starting to see a lot of these programs who have been down, like a Texas. Well, they never run out of money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's never been a problem.
That's never been a problem. So now that you could pay players to come, oh yeah, they're gonna be winning all day long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm excited to see Texas, man. Right now, I just heard that Arch gonna be the starter this week, of course, for UL Monroe. And like I said, I don't think they're gonna bring Quinn back, man. Honestly, I will let Arch start against OU.
You got enough confidence in him to let it go out there against the big guns.
I got enough confidence, not just in him, but just in the coaching staff, that I feel like they'll put him in the right situations that will help him be able to win that game for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue that, and it's hard to argue that.
We're going to see how they see how they going to look, though. We got to see how they going to look, though, against Tennessee this week. If they go in and beat Tennessee, then, okay, I'm
we got to bring Quinn back. It's like, hold on, y'all. Let's
bring Quinn back.
Let's make sure he's healthy.
And it's not that it's not that I'm not confident in Arch. It's just, like I said, a few days ago, Quinn, I don't believe that he's better than Arch as far as being a quarterback. Just an all-out quarterback, Arch is better than. But the thing that he got on Arch is he's played in these big games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's won in these big games. He's been to Tuscaloosa and won last year. He's been to Michigan and Ann Arbor this year and won. He's traveled to these big games and won. You know what I mean? So you need that experience no matter what how we feel about it. You know, you need the experience on the field. And, I mean, he's still, I think, number one right now in the Heisman ballot, even though he's out with an injury. So I'm sure that's going to change, too. You know, he's going to miss a few weeks and everything. But,
Yeah.
I mean, right now, though, the team is up. I feel like they deserve to be number one in the country. I don't think anybody else got a better win than them.
Mm-mm.
And I mean, the sky's the limit for them right now. I just don't want it to get to their head, you know, get the big head and think that they made it already. You know, it's still a lot of football to be played, and I'm sure that Steve Sarkisian is going to really make sure that they're staying disciplined and, you know, ready every week for whoever they play.
No, definitely, and I think they're going to do that. Like both of y'all said, this team they've got enough talent to be able to win it. They got the talent, they got the guys. Can they just put it all together? And like you said, I agree. Quinn's got the experience, so that would be my reason for bringing him back against Oklahoma, just because we know what he's going to do in those big games. We don't know yet what Arch can do in those big games. Not saying he can't do it, we just don't know yet. And with recruiting, it's only one thing they need. They already got the number 2 player in Texas. It's already committed to Texas, the linebacker Jonah Williams out of Galveston. But if they can find a way to flip DeCorian Moore from Oregon, because we know it's possible because he didn't already flip from LSU. So if he can flip from LSU to Oregon, if they find a way to flip him from Oregon to Texas, this team is going to be dangerous for the next 3 or 4 years. I mean, if you think about a team with crazy. That would be crazy. If you put him, Jonte Cooks, Isaiah Bond, all them on the same. Come on, man. Come on. That's just Ryan Wingo.
Yeah,
man. Hey,
I ain't gonna lie.
Go ahead.
Tell me if I'm going too far. But I really do feel that we are going to look back at this receiving core in the next few years the same way that we was looking at 2017 Alabama receiving core.
I'm hoping so. They got the potential to. One, they got Isaiah Bond, who's just as good as any of those guys at Bama. At Bama was. So they got the top guy for sure. We just got to see what can. And Ryan Wingo has potential to, but he's still young. We got to see what Jonte Cooks is going to do. I feel like they're still leaving a lot left out there with Jonte Cooks, but we know he's got the potential to be. So I ain't mad at that. They got a chance to be one of the top receiving cores for sure. But only time will be able to tell with that. So Texas. Go ahead.
I think Jonte is going to be more. He's going to be more of a Arch Manning like go-to guy.
Yeah.
I think once Quinn is gone, I think Isaiah Bond most likely going to go into the draft after this year as well.
He should.
I think he in his third year, right?
I think so, second or third.
Yeah, second or third. So I'm sure he's going to go ahead and go into the draft after this year. But I feel like that's going to allow for Jonte. Now, I don't know, because Ryan Wingo is already blossomed.
Yeah, Ryan Wingo's a dog, too. But you got to have a number 2.
He's a prop. Yeah, Yeah, so I feel like he's going to be more of Arch guy. And even once Arch got in the game this past week, you can kind of tell them dudes, like they've been playing with each other.
Yeah.
You know, they both came in the same class. You can tell that they both been playing with each other at practice, you know. So I think he's going to be more of Arch's guy. But at the same time, I mean, he got his first 2 touchdowns this past Saturday.
Yeah.
So I think he's gonna kind of start to light up a little bit more. But what I'm loving so far too, for sure, is I don't see any selfishness in his team. You know, any week it can be Isaiah Bond. The next week it can be Ryan Wingo. The next week it may be Jonte Cook, or it might be Matthew Golden. It might be what's the other guy? I think Isaiah Bowden or something. Some dude from Oregon State. Yeah, the small guy from Oregon State. You know, you just got a lot of guys in this receiving core, and you're not really seeing no one, you know, be mad because they're probably not getting their touches. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing a good job of spreading the ball around.
Yeah, and it's just like do anything to make sure that we win the game.
Yeah, and that speaks to what you were talking about before with that coach, man. Steve Sarkisian's a really good coach, and he all these players have bought in. Like I remember you saying that a few weeks ago. These players are bought in, and they believe they can go out there and win. So this Texas team is going to be dangerous moving forward. Right now, number 1 in the country, and we all feel like they deserve to be number 1 in the country for sure. So before we go to break, I wanted to ask y'all about this. I seen this on, social media is where all the topics end up being at because people have these crazy opinions. But it was a few shows that were talking about it too, asking, who's the best conference out of the Power 4 conferences right now in college football. You've got the Big 12, who's actually kind of underrated. They're having a good season, and they got a lot of good teams in the Big 12. I think we're all going to agree that ACC is last here, but you got the two super conferences with the Big Ten and with the SEC. And some people are saying the Big Ten can rival the SEC and the talent that they have over there, since they've added USC, and now they added an Oregon in there already with Ohio State. They've got Penn State, who's number 10. Michigan, they're going to fall. I don't know. Michigan's going to fall out of that. But Nebraska's in there. And even Illinois has now got in there and ranked at number 24. So, and they still got Washington as well, who's 2-1 on the season. So when you look at all the talent on the Big Ten and in the SEC, I'll let y'all go. But I think I know who we're going to say here. Kyra, I'll start with you. Who's the best conference in Power 4 right now in the NCAA?
Can't tell you that, man.
What'd you say?
Open shut. That's not open shut. That's not. I can't tell you that.
You don't know who. You don't think who the best conference is?
No, it's definitely between the Big Ten and the SEC. But
yeah, for sure.
They're going toe to toe. You got Texas and Ohio State at the top. Then you got Georgia and then Oregon. I don't know. I just saw Kentucky. Alabama is going to trump whoever's third.
Yeah.
But it's not a big thing, like Penn State, I guess. We're going to see how USC and Washington look. But there's guys, but Ole Miss is good. LSU is okay. Then you got, Michigan. I'm not very high on Michigan, but I'm not gonna say they're a wash. Then you got Tennessee and Wisconsin. Like they going toe to toe. It ain't no. If you're gonna sit up here and tell me like, oh, the SEC's watching the Big Ten, I can't take you up on that, man. Like this is two conferences that will go toe to toe. I'm gonna take the SEC in the end. But, man, if I was to pick these games, Ohio State versus Texas, Georgia versus Oregon, Alabama versus Penn State, and Ole Miss versus Michigan, well, I don't know which way I'm going. Like, this is what we wanted, though. So, it's actually beautiful, man. I love that all these teams is playing each other. But, Ohio State is still here. They like PJ said, man, they in Texas bag.
Yeah.
Deep. So it ain't nobody fault but Texas, but man, these last couple of years, y'all done got so many players go up there. Gary Wilson, JSN. Like it's crazy. So they got talent, man, and with the additions they made, I'm not wrong. USC and Washington are in the Big Ten, right?
Yeah, you're right. So,
hey, we're going to see how they end up looking this year, but I don't think those are washes, man. Anything can really happen. I just know that it's the SEC, Big Ten, and Big 12, but a big gap. And then the Big 12, a big gap, and then Big 12. And then,
an even bigger gap in the ACC.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to say them. I was going to say the American Conference. Just beat them.
Okay, I can agree to a point. The Big Ten definitely does have good teams. PJ, only a couple minutes left before we go to break. I'll let you take off on this. Big Ten or SEC? That's really the conversation.
I don't know if it's just even that close for real, bro. Like SEC, and I gotta say that, bro, because outside of Ohio State like that. I'm not gonna. That's not even a topic for real. We all know that they like that.
Yeah.
My thing is, I don't trust Washington. I'm not too trusting on USC until I see what they do this Saturday against Michigan. I already know that Michigan, I ain't going to say they washed up, but they're not the
same team. They washed, man.
I ain't going to say they washed up, because if they beat USC, because
I give you that.
I'm looking at USC. USC look better. I just don't know if they're truly better yet because they haven't really played nobody.
For sure.
you know, they haven't really played anyone, so I got to see how they really look, you know. I mean, you got Penn State. I don't trust Penn State. Penn State don't win the big games.
Facts.
Iowa,
Never have.
I thought they were going to be like. I thought Iowa was going to be like that this year. They lost against Iowa State.
Yep.
Illinois, I don't know if they're really like that until I see when they play this week. I got to really just see it when they play this week. Wisconsin, they always fumble the bag too, just like Penn State do. We think that they're really good, and then they ended up just, you know, getting thrashed. I mean, didn't they just lose against Alabama?
Yep.
Which that's Alabama, so I'm not gonna just give them, you know.
But they quarterback out for the season too, so they probably gonna fall off.
Yeah, they're gonna fall off. So I don't know, like with the Big Ten and then Oregon just looked good last week.
Yeah.
For the first time this season. So I don't really. I feel like with the Big Ten, they're more top heavy than all around the whole entire conference being good. But their top guys though are so good that it does make the entire conference look good because their top guys can really go against anybody in the country.
No, facts.
You know what I mean?
agree.
So that's what really makes that conference shine like that. But when you go look at the SEC, you got schools. I mean, the top guys, of course, right now, Texas, Georgia. I'm gonna put Tennessee in there. I feel like Tennessee, their offense is ridiculous.
They're number 6 in the country.
Yeah, their offense is ridiculous, bro. Like, and then you got Alabama. But it's just talking about Tennessee probably scares me more than any other team in the SEC right now.
Yeah. Because
they're scoring easily, and I know that they haven't played nobody. But it's never easy. I promise you, it's never easy. Just go
to put up 70
on a collegiate field and put 70 on anybody. That is not easy to do. I don't care if you're playing Division III. That's just not something that's just easy. You don't just go on a collegiate field. And these dudes go to college. They in college football for a reason.
Yeah.
So you just scoring 70 like easily. They could have easily scored 100 points.
Bro, they putting up 2012 Alito numbers.
Like, come on, yeah, like, bro, it's really unfair on the field. Like, it's unfair.
Yeah, so, I agree. Go ahead.
The SEC is very, very deep, bro. Like, to the point to where if you're not careful on a Saturday night in Death Valley this year, you could possibly lose.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Or if you win South Carolina, you never know.
Who should have won?
They don't really beat anybody. Yeah, they should have won.
Their quarterback got hurt.
You know, they're contagious to winning though too, so that plays a part with South Carolina losing. They just contagious to winning.
Allergic, yeah.
But they're allergic. Yeah, they can't do it. Arkansas can even beat somebody. You know what I mean? So you just never know, man. The SEC is extremely deeper than what the Big Ten is, but the Big Ten, like I say, they're so top heavy that those top guys make that entire conference look good. And a few of those teams in their conference, I feel like we still got to see a little bit more. Like I ain't trusting Oregon yet.
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing.
I'm not trusting Oregon. I don't trust Washington. I definitely don't trust Illinois yet. And I think they're good. I think Illinois got two. They got 2 second or third round draft picks that are corners.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And they've had that over the last couple of years. Didn't dude just come from Illinois a couple of years ago on the Seahawks? Yeah.
I forgot his name.
Witherspoon. Yeah, he one of the top. He one of the top corners.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm leaning more towards what you were saying. I got to go to break real quick, but just to wrap it up, I'm leaning more towards what you were saying, PJ. I think if you take out Texas and Ohio State, yeah, okay, cool. They can cancel each other out. They're both super good. But the next 5-6 teams in the SEC, I think, can beat any team in the Big Ten. Any. Missouri's number 7, and they can beat every other team in the Big Ten, in my opinion. But that's left to be seen. So we'll see how both of these conferences do. Folks, we got to go to a quick break before we come back at the top of the hour. You're watching Centex Primetime. We're going to take a short break and be right back.
Are you looking for something new and unforgettable in Waco? Come to the Blazing Asian, where authentic Cambodian flavors meet creative culinary flair. Voted People's Choice as Waco's #1 Asian restaurant since 2019 by both the Wacoan Magazine and the
Paid for by Airtime Media.
Inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin. We're serving up family recipes with a twist. Blazing Asian egg rolls are rolled fresh daily, and their sauces or marinades are made in-house with love. Stop by today. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin. And for Baylor students, enjoy 10% off with your student ID.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex Primetime, hosted by Jalen Gillis.
Act like y'all.
Weekdays 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas #1 leader in sports. Centex Sports Network.
That's right, sports fans. We can talk about sports.
And Infinity Sports.
The East Waco Empowerment Project, along with City Center Waco, is hosting WeBo Workshop and Business Opportunity to help create more entrepreneurs. Business owners like Aniceto Charles of True Jamaica Restaurant and Carla Dotson of Boardwalk on Elm attended WeBo to develop their business ideas into successful Black-owned businesses right in the heart of East Waco. WeBo can also help you turn your side hustle or business idea into the next thriving Black-owned business in our community. If you would like to attend this 10-week intense entrepreneurial workshop, go to WeBoWaco.org. That's WIBO Waco.org. Space.
NSJ Event Co., one of the premier event designers in Central Texas and a Centex Sports Network supporter. Voted Waco Awards Event Planner of the Year 2021, NSJ Event Co. is your go-to source for event planning. Whether it's your next baby shower, birthday bash, wedding, or retirement party, NSJ Event Co. will bring out the elegance, class, and style your event deserves. Call NSJ Event Co. at the number on the screen or scan the QR code to schedule a free consultation. NSJ Event Co., where the party lady takes care of all your event needs.
This is live from the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports Studios.
That's right, sports fans.
About to show these boys how we do it. You ready?
Tune in to Primetime Sports Talk with Jalen Gillis, your go-to source for breaking sports news in Central Texas and exclusive Dallas Cowboys coverage on the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports.
Welcome back into hour number 2 of Centex Primetime, everybody. Happy Friday Eve to those of you just now tuning in. Some of y'all getting off of work, riding in your car. Some of y'all been off work for a couple hours now, and some of y'all start the weekend early. A lot of workplaces are doing 4-day work weeks now. A lot of schools doing 4-day work weeks. So shout out to all my teachers that tune in with us, that get that extra day off. Happy Friday Eve to everybody. Once again, make sure you guys go onto the YouTube and subscribe if you want to be able to watch this content 5 to 7 p.m. weekdays. Go on the YouTube Centex Sports Network or Centex Sports TV and follow us and subscribe on there, and also hit that bell. If you want to see some of the clips and other things that we clip up and see some of the debate that we have on social media, you can go over to Instagram and follow Centex Primetime on Instagram, or you can follow me on Instagram at Jalen Gillis as well. If you guys want to be able to listen to this content, whether you're in your car or you're at work or you're at home, download the app Centex Sports 1 on the Google Play Store and on the Apple Store as well to be able to hear this. Folks, before we talk about some NFL football that we got starting tonight as we kick off the week 3 in the NFL, starts tonight, New England versus the Jets, which I think has potential to be a sneaky good game, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Before we get into that, we got some quick takes. First, I want to get you guys' opinion on this. I'm still on here joined with Kyrell Gibson and PJ Gaither as well. I want to get you guys' opinion on the Colorado and Baylor game. Now, a few weeks ago, we said on the show that when it gets to week 4 in the season, that's going to determine a lot for both of these teams for where the trajectory of the rest of their season is going to go when we get to that week 4 game with Baylor at Colorado. I think we almost predicted it down to the record. I think we might have said Colorado would be 3-0, but I'm pretty sure we said 2-1 and 2-1 coming into this game, and that's what both teams are. They're both 2-1 coming into this. Coach Aranda at Baylor's got a lot to prove. That seat is kind of hot over there at Baylor. He took back over coaching the defense. So far, the defense looks pretty good. Their D-line is big, and they're going against, honestly, a subpar O-line in Colorado. I know I root for Deion, and I'm rooting for Colorado while Deion is there, and I'm definitely rooting for his son, Shador, but I'm a Baylor fan. So I'm excited to watch this game, and I'm excited to see what both teams are going to do in this situation, and almost this win or go home type situation, because whoever loses this game, their season's going to look a little bit different. 2-2 looks a lot different than 3-1 at this time of the season, especially with both of these teams being in the Big 12. And this is the first Big 12 game for both teams. So both of these guys got a lot to prove. We know what Shedeur in the passing game can do if he has time. We know what they're going to look like if he doesn't have time. If this Baylor team can get after the quarterback, man, I wouldn't be shocked about Baylor going up to Boulder and getting a win in this game, especially with the young kid, Bryson Washington, that I know me and PJ been watching since he was in high school when he was at Franklin when they were winning those state titles. So he looked really, really good when he came in against Air Force. I think he had over 100 yards on more than 100 yards, probably 130 yards from scrimmage in that game, in his first game back in the season after being injured for the first few games. So they can get that running game going. Colorado struggles against the run. If their D-line can get after him, Jackie Marshall and Sinton and the rest of these boys out there on the front line for Baylor, I mean, they can go up to Boulder and get a win. On the other side, for Colorado, they got to prove that they can run the ball. Yes, they did better last game against Colorado State, but this ain't Colorado State coming in. But if they do have time in the passing game, we know what Shedeur can do. He can pick apart any defense. So I'm super excited to be able to watch this game and see both of these teams match up. PJ, I'll start with you. What do you think about this Colorado and Baylor matchup?
This is going to be a really good game, man. I think this is – I really think that this could probably be the game of the weekend, honestly. Both teams, honestly, match up pretty well against each other. In certain instances, I feel like Colorado, the passing game is going to be a little bit difficult for this Baylor team, definitely for the DBs on Baylor. But Baylor, their front line, they get pressure.
Yeah.
They get a lot of pressure, and I really think that that's going to bother Colorado, which we already seen that they have. I mean, that's their Achilles heel. They can't stop nobody from getting to their quarterback, and then they can't establish a run game. You know what I mean? So at least not against teams that are somewhat good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can't really run the ball on them. So I really think Baylor is one of those teams, man, where they could possibly have one of the better defenses in the Big 12. So that's going to play a huge part in what Colorado offensively is going to try to do, in the game. But when you look at Baylor's offense, they're very old school, man. They can run the ball.
Yeah.
They can run the ball pretty good. But at the same time, I really think their passing game is slept on. They got some really good receivers at Baylor, so I really got to see. To me, it's going to come down to the only way Baylor will lose this game is if Travis Hunter goes crazy.
Yeah, they can't stop him.
I really think I'm kind of scared, because I got to go for the home team. I got to go for the hometown team.
Yeah.
I really think Travis is going to go crazy. I really do.
I wouldn't be shocked at all.
But if he don't, he's going to have for sure 100.
Yeah, that's booked.
That's guaranteed. If he don't, I would be shocked. I'd be shocked if he don't. I really do think he's going to have 100 receiving yards. But I still think that they could possibly win the game with them having 100. Like, he got, early 100s. I'm talking about, probably, 101, 103 or something. They can win the game, bro. Baylor can win the game. I really think that some of the people on the media, that kind of slept on Baylor.
Yeah.
I mean, they played a really good Utah. They played a really good Utah team who was still considered one of the better teams in the Big 12, if not the best team in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that they just played them terribly. There were certain things that I wish they could have done differently in that game, but they didn't get blown out though. You know what I mean? So this Baylor team is still a pretty good team. I love the defense. Dave Aranda is a genius when it comes to just scheming, on the defensive side. So I think that they're going to really play Colorado close. I got Baylor winning, but I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if Travis Hunter and Shedeur really start connecting in this game, Baylor's not going to win the game.
Yeah, they're going to be in trouble if those two get going. Probably one of the better connections in the nation, honestly, with them two. And two of the better players in the nation. So it's hard when you got two really, really good top players like that going against you. Kyra, what do you think about this Baylor and Colorado matchup coming up on Saturday?
Yeah, man. I think Shedeur gonna be in for a long night. I see him getting hit a lot. I don't think he's gonna be able to get the ball out, honestly. They don't have really the ball carriers to make some things happen. That's what I was noticing about the Air Force game. You know, the guys that got the ball in their hands, they kind of dynamic. You know, I know it's Air Force and yada, 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 but
yeah,
dudes had some moves to them, you know?
For sure.
And I really don't see nobody that creative outside of Travis, you know, that's going to break tackles and make people miss. Like, Shedeur is not that kind of quarterback.
Mm-mm.
Their running backs are subpar. And I think the strength of this Baylor defense is, you know, is that line's going to get some pressure, you know? So they run these stunts, and I don't know how well the Colorado's line is going to handle that. I think their best bet is, you know, to maybe you max the tag and you get Shedeur some time, and so Travis and Jimmy Horn can, you know, get some moves out there. But if they can't buy this dude time, I'm thinking, like guys, I'm thinking this is going to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I don't think we're going to see fireworks. And it's going to be, I think it's frustrating for Colorado's offense, and that's going to bleed over, you know, and that's going to lead to Baylor winning this game. I'm going to take Baylor to win, man. I really want to see Travis go crazy. I want to see Shedeur do good, but I just don't see how this line is going to shore up. If they can, that changes the ball game. You know, I think if they can buy Shedeur time, then I think we'll have an electric Colorado offense. But I just don't think they're gonna get that time, man. I don't think they have enough dynamic players. Like, who's the guys? Like, you got Travis out there, you gonna hand him the ball? No. Unless you're throwing him a screen, man, it's gonna take 2 or 3 seconds to get him that ball.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's gonna have 2 or 3 seconds to throw. Baylor hasn't impressed me all year. But what I think I do see is push.
Yeah.
They have pushed. And I'm not going to say Air Force's line is worse than Colorado's. Not based on what I've seen. You know, they
not for real. Yeah.
You know, talented tackle, but, you know, run in the middle.
No, I agree. And I think Baylor's got a chance to go out here and win this game. Vegas doesn't even know what to do with this game. They've gone back and forth. I mean, really, over the last week, they've gone just back and forth on who they even have favored in the game. Right now, they got Colorado -2. So that's going to be a huge game this weekend. Like PJ said, one of the better games of the weekend. Probably the most, definitely going to be the one I'm going to be tuning into the most. So that's at 7 o'clock on Fox. So definitely keep a lookout for that. Some more quick takes before I go into the NFL. Want to talk about something else I seen on Instagram. You know all the funny stuff is on Instagram. Something else I seen on Instagram. NBA trainer Chris Brickley had some thoughts about Ben Simmons. Now, before we go, Chris Brickley is certified as an NBA trainer. He's not just one of the Instagram guys. He's trains with LeBron. He got famous with that gym he had with Hoodie Melo in the time when Melo was trying to get back in the league. So he's trained NBA guys. He's seen lots of talent. He just posted videos working out Bron and Bronny. So the dude knows what he's talking about. I don't know if knows what he's talking about with this, though. He says that Ben Simmons will be better than ever this coming up season after Ben Simmons has been working with him. I've seen, at least for the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've seen him in that gym working with Chris Brickley. So Ben Simmons, a guy who started off his career really good, actually. Some people were saying the closest thing we've seen to LeBron in a while, just because he's 6'8", 6'9", could handle the ball, was a good pass distributor, made some all-star teams, made some all-NBA defensive teams. I mean, he really had a really great start to his career. He was the number 1 pick easily when he came out of LSU. And I don't know what happened. The stuff in Philly happened. They started messing with his psyche. He said his back was hurting. He said it was spinal, like Mike Tyson said. He didn't know what to do out there. He was he never looked the same, honestly. He got the injury, had the contract disputes, all this stuff, didn't want to come back. They wanted him to come back. Got kicked out, pushed out of Philly. They moved him to Brooklyn. I can't say he looks sorry in Brooklyn. He hasn't played. He hasn't played any games. He hasn't played games in like 3 years. I have no idea if he's going to be good or not. Ben Simmons still young, still a young guy, supposed to be in his athletic prime. He might have the back of Karl Malone right now, but if his back stays up, he can be good in the NBA. I think he'll be better than what he was because there's no footage of him. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't played in like 3 years. Him being better than ever, I don't think he's going to come back and be better than he was his first 3 to 4 years in the league. I think that's pushing it because I don't think he can get back to that good, but he was really good. He was really good when he first came into the league. So just want to get y'all's quick opinion on this, man. Kyrie, I'll go back to you. What do you think about Chris Brinkley saying this about Ben Simmons?
I don't want to hear nothing about Benjamin Simmons. Are we for real right now? Come on now. How do you even get back into the news cycle?
I have no idea.
Care about what he's doing? He need to be selling cars. I don't. It's one of the biggest disappointment I've ever. You know what? He was good for a couple of years. Man.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. He was good. Potential.
But oh my gosh, if he's not the poster boy of old heads calling this modern era sauce.
Yeah, like, he definitely is.
He's not helping the case, man. It's like, what are we supposed to say, bro? You think I'm not taking your word that he's gonna be good? I don't care. We've been looking at him. He come. It's the same thing every year, every offseason. He go away, he get hurt, he don't play. He make a couple threes in an empty gym, and now it's man, Ben Simmons might looking like a demon or whatever. So now we passed that. Now he got a spokesperson. You know, he had to get somebody to tell it for him. It's like, man, look, we know who that is. We see him. We've seen him. You're not finna sell me on Ben Simmons. What is he gonna do? Like, what's he gonna do different? You tell me he gonna come out shooting? Because he's gonna do the exact same thing he did for last year until he get hurt, and then he gonna go to Six Flags for 8 months. I don't know. How did this dude get back in the news? Like, we supposed to be talking about the Mavericks.
Oh man, here we go.
I'm playing, man. But still, man, I don't want to hear nothing about Ben Simmons unless he opening up for Five Guys. I don't want to hear nothing.
Simmons Auto Parts. Okay, so Ben Simmons hasn't played over 50 games since 2021. That was the last time he played. And in that season, he played 58 games before he got hurt. Didn't play for 2 years after that. Came back in 2023 and played 40 games. Last year, he played 15 games before he went to Six Flags, like Kyrell said. PJ, what do you think about this Ben Simmons stuff with what his trainer just said about him?
Yeah, his trainer burnt out for that. Burnt out for them comments. Until he learned how to get a mid-range shot, bro, he will never be good.
Never.
He'll never be good. He cannot. If somebody put a gun to his head and told him, make a mid-range, he'll die.
In an NBA game, make a mid-range.
In the NBA game, he'll die. Yeah, he'll die, bro. He can't make a mid-range. He can't do it. So until he learn how to do that, which I don't think that he's going to learn how to do that, and to me, it's too deep off into his career for him to even get good at that, then, I don't really expect anything out of Ben Simmons. It's crazy that he's even being talked about. I really forgot about him.
I did too. I seen it on Instagram.
Yeah, I really forgot about him. And that's what I said. His trainer really burnt out. He must have paid him extra money or something, bro, to post that. I don't even think the trainer believe in it.
Nah, I don't think he do either.
I don't even think
he was just working out Braun. Ain't no way you watch Braun and then seen Ben and was like, yeah, that's similar.
Nah, bro. Ain't no way. He paid him extra money to say them comments. You know, he could have saved them comments though, bro. I really don't think that he's gonna be good at all. I feel bad for the Nets, man, because
they're
they
terrible.
spent a lot of money to get him.
Yeah, I mean he's still making on that contract that he had in Philly, so he's making like 30-something a year.
That's crazy, bro. Like he's still getting some money, so you know, they not getting nothing back from that. I mean, dude ain't played. You said he played like 40 games last year.
15 games last year.
15 games last year.
Out of 82.
Yeah, nah, I would have cut him. Ain't no way, bro. I would have cut him.
Yeah.
You haven't played 15. What happened to him?
I would say an injury, but he had a confidence injury for like 2 years, so I'm not sure what the injury is or was.
Yeah, he's so
but I don't know what's gonna happen with this Ben Simmons deal, but I ain't gonna stay on it too long. They said he's gonna be good. All I can say is, well, I can't even say we'll see. There's not gonna be one Nets game on TV this year, so we'll hear about it. Maybe we'll read it in the paper or something about what happens. We can see some highlights on Instagram later. So to wrap up the quick takes, I wanted to talk about. Well, I got 2 more quick takes. Then these can be quick. Quentin Johnston, one of the top receivers, came out of the draft a couple years ago when TCU went to the national championship. He only had 2 touchdowns last year, and he already has 2 touchdowns this year currently. So Quentin Johnston, like I said, a top draft pick a couple years ago coming out, was already kind of getting labeled a bust because of how, really just no production last year at all from him on the Chargers. But this year, they don't have any more receivers, so they're throwing him the ball, and he's producing right now. He's hadn't had any crazy stats or anything like that, but he is producing, and he's got 2 touchdowns through the first 2 weeks of the season. Do we think that this can help Quentin Johnston live up to his potential? Like, will he be good? Because after last year, it was a question of, is he even going to be good? And everybody was saying stop drafting receivers out of TCU after what we seen from Josh Doxson back in the day when the Redskins drafted him high, and then we saw Jalen Rieger with the who took him? The Eagles drafted him over Justin Jefferson, which just wild. But yeah, so they said stop drafting TCU receivers, and he was just the latest of that. But he's looked good through the first 2 weeks. Not like I said, nothing crazy. He hasn't really had that many yards at all, but at least he's got 2 touchdowns through the first couple of weeks. Do we think he can live up to his potential of getting drafted? I think in the top 15 when he got drafted. Carver, I'll go to you on this one. What do you think about Quentin Johnston?
News. Not buying it, man. I saw all them catches. We know you can catch fade routes. That's what you did at TCU. Great. All right, you can finally call one. The other touchdown was just a drag. They lost him. He was wide open. And okay, you stop dropping the ball on the other 3 catches, but these are just drag routes. We're not seeing this man running no routes. We're not nothing. Yeah, drags, screen, fade. So I don't know how far you're gonna get with that. On the screenplay, he didn't have no moves. He ran around the block and got tackled immediately. Like, okay, 3-yard gain. I didn't see nothing special, man. He just dropped the ball. Like if that's the standard, should we start believing TCU wide receivers? Then okay, cool. They didn't drop the ball. It's the biggest football you can possibly have, at any level. You shouldn't drop it. And lo and behold, he caught none of those with his hands.
None.
All in his belly button. So no, man. Congratulations, man. I'm glad you gonna have your moment in the league, but I promise you, if there was any other good receiver on this team, we would not be talking about this man. But they sold all their receivers.
Yeah.
So they gotta throw him the ball. And look, this week against the worst team in the league. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, the worst.
He caught 2 touchdowns. The one I love the fade, but we knew you could do that. That's why you got drafted. Fade routes. But man, I'm out on Big 12 receivers. I'm just not.
You gonna throw the whole Big 12 in on this?
Well, just for that era, he the last one. But Big 12's kind of shifted, so Travis Hunter's in there now, so you can dice that up how you like. But that old era, Corey Coleman.
You didn't have to bring that up, man.
I got you, man, because I believed in all these dudes.
I did too.
Kendall.
I did too. Hey, Kendall don't put Kendall in that. Kendall was a dog in the league. Kendall was nice, bro. Don't do that.
For 6 games, man.
Bro, he was a dog for he had a decent career, bro. Don't do that to Kendall Wright.
Look, man, shout out Kendall Wright.
One of the most athletic people I ever seen in my life is Kendall Wright.
What about Dez?
Great. Open up a YMCA.
Yeah, he just forgot about Dez. Like, come on, bro.
Dez not a part of that era, man.
What are you talking about? He is in that era.
What?
No.
Bro,
No.
You said Corey Coleman, and then you said Kendall Wright. They almost 10 years apart. So what era are we talking about?
Dez was drafted in what, 09?
Yeah, Kendall Wright was drafted in like 10 or 11.
No,
Yeah,
man.
10, 11 years.
He came after RG3 or with RG3.
When did you think RG3 got drafted?
12.
So that's not the era. 2 years apart, not that era. There's a whole different era now.
There was a significant change, man, between when Baylor was at the top of the poll, right? That's when it started. Baylor was number 1 top 5 team every year. That was after RG3.
What about CD Hollywood?
Come on, man. He just saying crazy stuff, PJ. Talking about Big 12 ain't got no receivers.
We know those are SEC schools, man.
What? Oklahoma just got to the SEC? Bro, stop it. Stop it, bro. Now Texas and Oklahoma don't. Man, come on, bro. All right. Come on, bro.
West Virginia.
Come on, man.
Those are the real.
You brought up 5 busts and said the whole Big 12. Sorry, you brought up 5 busts and said, "Nah, ain't nobody from the Big 12 ever been good." Come on, man. This is foolishness.
I'm just saying, man. If we look at that era, Dez is not a part of that era.
Come on, man. He's definitely part of that era. What are you talking about?
So when you think of Kendall Wright, you think of Dez?
Yes. And if we're talking about that era of Big 12, what about Michael Crabtree? Like, what is we talking about?
Definitely not. That's 5 years before.
Come on, bro.
I'm talking about 20 from RG3.
First of all, you just said the whole Big 12. Now you narrowing it down to years. And then you said Texas and Oklahoma don't count.
In that era.
After he just named you 5 first-round picks.
Oklahoma and Texas do not count. They're powerhouses. They were never in the same tier as the rest of the Big 12 schools.
Stop it, bro. Stop it, man. Texas wasn't even good. What are you talking about, bro?
But they were never the same. That was a blue chip school. You can't tell me that Texas was in the same pedigree of Baylor, no matter how much they was losing. Oklahoma too. That's why they in the SEC today.
The era you talking about, Baylor was thrashing them. What are you talking about?
Okay, but we're talking about pedigree though. Like, yes, they were better than those years, but Oklahoma and Texas were never that deal. Like, every time Baylor beat them or beat Oklahoma, we always felt like it was kind of an upset. Like, yeah, we beating up on the bigger school because we was going broke to them. They were just bad.
But you said no receivers were good.
Reason they in the SEC.
Tyron Lockett
in that era. Bro, Tyler Lockett is 40.
He came out. He came out after everybody you just named, besides Corey Coleman.
Tyler Lockett?
Tyler Lockett came out in like 2013 or 14.
Yeah. Okay, he's a part of that era. We can add him. He survived.
He survived.
But we're not throwing Dez or anybody before Dez. That's 09-10. Tyler Lockett is the best Big 12 receiver to come out in that era. But everybody else, man, all those Baylor receivers, all those, like, if you want to throw, who was in West Virginia, man?
Tyreek Hill. I mean, he played running back in college, but I mean, he receiving the lead.
Well, he went to HBCU. You can't count that. They not taking credit for that. They don't even want nothing to do with that, man.
He said he went to HBCU. He said this man went to PV after he left Oklahoma State.
Yeah, that man was running in mud at practice.
Come on, man. That's a wild take. PJ, before I'll let you comment on the Quentin Johnson thing before we move on. Kyrie talking that foolishness. What you think about Quentin Johnson in his first couple games so far this season?
I mean, it's not a breakout season for none of us because we don't expect nothing from him. You know, I mean, anything's a breakout season for him though. He already got a breakout season because he just got 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, for himself. Not for no one else, though. I mean, I agree. I don't feel like anybody should be drafting any more receivers from TCU. I haven't seen no receiver from TCU prosper yet.
None.
Like, not one. I ain't seen none. So I do agree. Stop drafting receivers from TCU. The eye test just not. I don't know what's going on. It's not accurate because these guys get into the league and they just be trash. They can't catch. Jalen Rieger can't catch. Quentin Johnson, he really can't. He really can't catch either. So like I say, it's a breakout season for himself. Not for none of us though. We don't expect anything from them.
No.
I mean from him. And then the Chargers don't have any receivers, so I mean, if you ain't really got that many receivers, he's going to get more. He's going to get more passes thrown his way because he's one of the only guys really out there that could possibly do something. So, I mean, yeah, I don't. I mean, it's kind of crazy to me that they even said, "Is he going to have a breakout season?" Or something? That's just wild.
Right, he got 89 yards, and they said he's going to have a breakout season. He got 89 yards in 2 games.
They're going too far. They're going too far. I don't see him having no break. That's just going too far. Like, they need to chill.
Yeah, they got to find some chill. But like we said, shout out to Quentin Johnston. He is from Central Texas. Came out of Temple. So shout out Quentin Johnston for sure, doing your thing in the league. But as far as breakout season, I don't know about that. So, folks, we've got NFL, another week 3 right here in the NFL starting. A lot of good games coming up this weekend. But it starts tonight. New England versus the Jets in this game right here. This is going to be one of, I think it's got a chance to be a pretty decent game right now. They got the spread. It's kind of wild. It's the Jets minus 6.5. I think this game is going to be closer than what people think because I think the Patriots defense is better than what a lot of people are giving them credit for. This Patriots defense is pretty decent coming into this. I like Gerard Mayo as a coach. The offense definitely has a lot to be desired on the offense, but I don't think they've given up over 50 yards. Maybe I can check week 1, but this defense is stout against the run, and so far that's all the Jets have been able to do. Aaron Rodgers hasn't done anything crazy so far. Now, yes, they didn't play 2 great running games in the first weeks, but no back has got over 50 yards on them yet on this defense. And yes, it's early. But we know New England notoriously has good defenses. And Gerard Mayo is a defensive guy. He was a great linebacker there for the Patriots. He's got a chance to keep that stamp going with the New England Patriots in their defense because, honestly, that's the only place where they got good players. Ramondre Stevenson, he's all right. They have 0 receivers. They got a lot of young guys out there that got potential, but that's just potential. Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, we know exactly what he is. If he gets 200 yards, it's a game breaker for him. So he's not much to expect from Jacoby Brissett. But this defense, they got some guys out there on this defense that I like. They got Christian Gonzalez, who I thought was a really good corner last year before they started tanking their season. They got DBs. I still like Jonathan Jones. I still like Marcus Jones. Kick returner, nickelback kind of guy. Kyle Duggar's a really good safety. Jabril Peppers is always a ball hawk. Keon White is really a stud. Keon White is a young guy that I seen a little bit last year, but then this year in preseason, he was dominating. And I'm like, man, he's got a chance. He can be pretty decent. And since the season started, he's still dominating. He got 4 sacks. So this defense can make some noise out there for them. They still got Juwan Bentley back there. Their offense is what isn't that good at all. But they've got a chance to make some noise just because of their defense. I think it's going to be a better game than what people think. At least it'll be a closer score. Now, how good of a game it'll be, I don't know, because Jacoby Brissett is still out there starting, and I have no idea what to expect when he gets into a game. It could be an 80-yard game from the quarterback position. So the offense won't be explosive, but I'm still going to take the Jets in this one, and I'm looking for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's going to be tough to bounce back against a defense this good, but you got to go out here and get a win. They haven't got a win in New England since 2015. So, Kyrell, what do you think about this game tonight, Jets versus New England?
Man, I'm not sure. I've been putting together lineups all day. I just can't.
It's going to be an ugly one.
I really can't. Like, New England has 0 receivers. Jets have a really good secondary. Okay, well, they obviously not going to. Why would they test the receivers, Hunter Henry had a bunch of catches last week. I'm expecting Jacoby. I'm really expecting Jacoby Brissett to be knocked out of this game because I don't like the way that New England's pass protects.
Oh, they're horrible.
I don't. So I'm thinking, okay, they're going to be hitting the quarterback, and that means probably Ramondre Stevenson is going to have 25 carries.
Definitely.
we might see a series where first, second, third down it's all. But Brissett's a vet, man, so I don't know how they're gonna. I really don't know how this is gonna go. The New England struggled last week with crossing routes. No, not New England. The Jets.
The Jets, yeah.
So I'm thinking, all right, well, who can do that on the offense? Who can replicate on the New England's offense? I don't know, man.
Nobody.
Osborne. Your best bet is Stevenson and Gibson out the backfield. And so if I'm Salah, it's 8 in the box.
Every time.
Show me something. Go over the top. But I'm putting 8 in the box because they putting 8 in 8. They using everybody to block on their line. Like I seen one play, man, they had one receiver out there and everybody was on the line. Everybody. I'm like, man, pull back. I'm like, okay, this was the type of game they play. But so I'm really liking the defense of this game. I know they have Aaron Rodgers, but I just don't really see them moving the ball like they did against Tennessee. New England gave up a lot of big plays last week, so I think they'll probably they might overreact to that. And Aaron Rodgers be able to nickel and dime, Allen, what's his name? Brees Hall in the flats and things like that. Maybe guys will listen across the drag, but I really don't. I'm really seeing a lot of field goals, man.
Yeah, take the kickers.
Field goals.
Take the kickers in tonight's game. Go ahead.
I'm taking the Jets.
Okay.
Taking the Jets, though. Yeah, just to clear it up.
Yep. We're both right there on the Jets. So we're going to guarantee a Patriots win right here if PJ goes with the Jets too. But like you said, both teams, they got their struggles on the offensive end. And I do like the Allen kid, though, for the Jets. I thought he was a really good back coming out of college, and actually surprised he kind of slipped down to where he did to the Jets because Braylon Allen is a dog, and he's only like 20 years old. So you like getting these running backs whenever they're super young like that, since you're going to pretty much have them be retired by the time they're 27, 28. So him coming in at 20 is a plus for him. PJ, who do you got in this game, New England versus the Jets tonight?
I got the Jets. Yeah, I got the Jets. I really think that we're gonna get it right this time, man.
I hope so.
The Jets I hope so. But no, I like this Jets team. I feel like this is the game that they can kind of catch their rhythm. I don't really feel like they done caught their rhythm so far this season. I mean, it started out pretty rough against the 49ers. I mean, they're pretty much the best team in the league, though. So, I really didn't expect too much out of that game. But, last week to me was kind of a disappointment offensively because they only scored 24 points. That's good in the NFL. That's good. But I just didn't really like how the offenses ran. I felt like they could have done better. I don't think that this is going to be the week that they're going to probably catch their rhythm as far as all the way offensively. But as far as just as a team, I think that they'll be good. The defense is looking pretty good. I'm with Kyrell. I feel like their defensive backs are solid. They're very solid. I mean, led by Sauce Gardner. They're locked down over there. But, New England has a really good defense, too. New England has, to me, a top 5 defense, maybe a top 3 defense in the league. They just don't have an offense. I don't trust Jacoby Brissett. I don't know how he's starting. I'm honestly, right now as we speak, I'm trying to see how is he starting.
Man, they ain't got nobody else.
Sure what happened to? Mac Jones not no better, but what happened?
Nah, Mac Jones in Jacksonville. They traded him.
Oh man, they tripping. Okay, they got
that's the number 1 pick, Drake May.
They got Drake May.
Not number 1, but
pretty much he was number 3.
And they got Joe Milton 3rd behind him. Then they got him last year, right?
They drafted both of them in this draft a couple months ago, Drake May and Joe Milton.
Yeah, they just not sure. This is crazy. When you got a sorry offense like them, man, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Oh, they still got Kayshawn Booth from LSU.
Yeah, he ain't gonna cut the cheese, man. That's not gonna get it done. It's the league.
That's Mr. Freaky, man.
Yeah, he's still on Prize Picks. This the dummy that put his name on Prize Picks. Why you in the league, bro? That's illegal. Like, you can't.
Oh God.
He put his first and last name though, his government name. He didn't even put a nickname. He didn't even put Shiesty K. 27.
Yeah, make sure y'all vote, man. He need funding in his education.
He Mr. Freaky, man, and he's slow.
Yeah, he out of there. Oh yeah, I forgot about him getting caught up with his coach. Hey man, that dude's wild. He's a wild card. Yeah, let's just leave him out of the lineups. He's a complete wild card. We don't know what this guy's about. If you're going on a 2-man with your coach, you're a wild guy, bro. You're a wild guy, man. In college, that's wild, bro. You went on a 2-man with your coach, bro.
Excuse me?
You don't remember that from last year?
No.
Bro, this man got caught up going on a 2-man with his coach, bro. With some students from LSU. Then he backdoored the next year and put his first and last name on his Prize Picks account. And betting on himself, though.
He need God because he
need the Lord. That's the only person that can save him, man. You're gambling and stuff, but yeah. Go ahead with your prediction, though, for the game, PJ.
Yeah, you got players like this on the team, man. It's just not gonna work for them. It's not gonna work. I think the Jets got it. I think they got it tonight. I think we finally are gonna pick the same team, and that team is gonna win.
I hope so, and I hope you're right, PJ, because we're like 0-10 so far to start the season. If we all pick the same team to win a game, I mean they're not even coming close. They're just losing, just straight up. It doesn't matter what happens. The only one we got close to was when we all picked Philly to win, and Philly did what Philly does. But so they got the New England versus the Jets tonight. That's on Prime Video. Still, I think one of the worst things the NFL did was putting that on Amazon Prime and not keeping it on regular television. But that's their decision. They got a lot more money than I do, and I'm just trying to get there. So tonight, New England versus the Jets. I'm going with the Jets in this one. Before we go to our last topic, I wanted to get out some of the picks. Like I said, guys, next week we're going to be starting a segment with Rocky on here about these picks, man, about these over-unders, these bets. However you make your bets on there, we're going to bring you some information about that. I'm going to give it Kyrell too, or maybe we could do some player props to join in with that because Rocky kind of just picks the spreads and the overs and unders. So this is for entertainment purposes only, folks. Entertainment purposes only. Do not go out there and spend your rent money on this and put it on these picks because we don't know what's going to happen. Do not, if you owe child support, do not go and put this money on this and think you're going to pay double. We don't know what's going to happen. This is just for entertainment purposes only. Do not take your last money. If you've been eating McDoubles and you're trying to come up right here, hey, go buy some noodles, bro. Don't put your money on this. This is just for entertainment purposes only. But we got a couple picks for you, man. So here goes Rocky's picks for this weekend that he likes for this NFL weekend coming up. Patriots +6 versus the Jets. So we started there, and I'm not mad at that because that is kind of a big spread. And now it's even worse. It's +6.5 for the Patriots. So he got the Patriots +6. He got +1 on the Bears versus the Colts. He got New Orleans -3 in their game. He's got the Giants +6.5 versus Cleveland. Now Rocky been on the tear, so I ain't gonna say nothing because he been doing his thing. I don't know about that Giants one, man. The Giants a little shaky, man. They a little shaky. I know you're not picking them to win, but even with the +6, Daniel Jones might go out there and get 4 yards. He's got the Broncos and Bucks under 41 point total. He's got, for his bonus, he's got Seattle -4.5 versus the Dolphins. And then he's got, I don't know about this one. This one might have hurt him to make this pick. He got Baltimore -1 versus the Cowboys on Sunday. So, like we said, folks, entertainment purposes only. Tune in next week. So we'll have Rocky on the show, and he'll explain some of these picks some more. I'm not going to try to explain all his picks. But like we said, entertainment, do not go out there and spend your last $2. I know y'all been listening. Y'all keep singing that song on social media. Don't go spend your last $2 on this game right here if that's all you got left. So before we get out of here, folks, only a few minutes left in the show. Like I said, a lot of good games coming up this week, but I wanted to get y'all's opinion on the first 2 weeks. It's early. I know it's early in the first couple weeks, and stuff is going to change. But I'm going to look at some of these stat leaders, and I want y'all to tell me Do y'all think these guys are going to stay at the top in these stat leaders, or are they going to fall off? And we're just looking at the stat leaders in the NFL. So we'll start at the quarterback position. Top 3 in passing yards through 2 weeks right now. Brock Purdy at number 1 with 550 yards. Matt Stafford at number 2 with 533 yards. And tied with him at number 2 is Mr. Mustache, Gardner Minshew, 533 yards. Now, do y'all think those guys are going to stay up near that top? Or if any of them are, or who's going to fall out and who's going to stay up there? Kyrell, I'll go ahead and start with you.
Who'd you say was one, Stroud?
No, Brock Purdy. Stroud not in the top 5.
Yeah, no, fall off, man. Boy, how?
It's Purdy, Stafford, and Mr. Mustache, Minshew. That's the top 3.
Yeah, how?
4 and 5 is Jared Goff and Lamar.
Okay, yeah, golf is gonna be one. I'm taking Goff and Stroud to be at the end of that, man. But Purdy, Minshew, yeah, man. You know, week 2 was the most bizarre week we've had in the NFL in a while. Going back to last season, man. So yeah, I'm not. You know, my boys got trounced like that. No, I'm just playing. But
Dak will go up higher than that. He's at Dak at 11. He'll be higher than that.
I don't know. Brandon Cooks,
bro,
like he got a walker.
They have no running game. Dak's gonna be up there. They don't have no choice but to throw the ball. Go ahead, PJ. What you think, man? Top 3 is Brock Purdy, Stafford, and Minshew. You think any of them are gonna stay up there? And if they all fall out, who you gonna think is gonna be up there? These are just predictions.
Matthew Stafford gonna be the only one that might be up there.
Yeah, they throw the ball.
Give him that. I respect Matthew Stafford.
Sure.
Brock Purdy is going. Minshew is most definitely gonna be gone. It's a fluke, bro. The Raiders are not good.
No, they're not.
They are not good. He's gonna fall off.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
Anybody you think that's gonna get in there up in the top 5? I mean, in that top 3.
Who I think gonna get in it?
Yeah.
Jared Goff maybe.
Yeah. Okay. He's at 4.
Yeah, I think Jared might get in there. The Lions gonna be good.
Yeah.
I think Dak. Dak. I don't know if Dak gonna. I ain't too confident on him getting.
I think he can get in the 5. I don't know about top 3. I think he can get in the 5 though.
He ain't gonna be top 3. I need Lamar to get it together because I want him to be.
He's at 5 right now. He only 30 yards behind number 1.
Yeah, they just
come on, man.
You know, the 0-2 star got me hurt.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud, I think, is for sure going to be in the top 3 though.
Yeah. I agree. I got Stroud moving up into that top 3, and Stafford might stay. Stafford might stay, like you said, just because they throw the ball a bunch. But Stroud will move up in there. I think it'll be Stroud, Goff, and Lamar. I think that's who the top 3 is going to be.
Where does Sonny D Love at, man?
Who?
Sonny D Love.
Who is that?
You know who it is, man. They tried to write him off in New York. Couldn't get the job in San Francisco. But what he showed y'all this weekend, man.
Oh, you talking about?
He got a cannon.
Y'all, you talking about Sam?
97 yards.
Hey, Sam is gonna be nice, bro. Sam. If you start your career in the Jets, that's like the D League or something. We're not even gonna count that. We just gonna count that as like you're getting your basics, because you have no chance of becoming successful with the Jets. Because we've seen it with Geno Smith first before we seen it with Sam Darnold. We've seen it with Geno, and now Geno is number 6 right now in yards. But yeah, I like Sam Darnold, but I don't even know if he's gonna end up finishing the season. Hope he don't get hurt, but I don't know. They didn't even want to start him to start the season off. So quarterbacks, that's definitely gonna change, I feel like. So let's look at the rushers. And I'll give y'all top 5 in the rushers. Number 1, J.K. Dobbins. 2, Jordan Mason. 3, Josh Jacobs with 235 yards. 4, Saquon Barkley. 5, Ramondre Stevenson. And very, very close behind him at 6 is Alvin Kamara. Who do y'all think is going to fall out of that? And who do you think will stay in that top 3, top 5 range? PJ, you can go ahead and go first this time.
Jordan Mason's going to drop. Yeah, he's for sure going to drop. Ramondre Stevenson, he's going to drop. Alvin Kamara may go up some more, I think. I think he'll go up some more. J.K. Dobbins, he's probably going to hang around there, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be the leader, but I think he'll stay around. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he'll stay around. Josh Jacobs is guaranteed. Guaranteed.
They got no
Saquon
quarterback.
Barkley. Yeah. Like Josh Jacobs been doing this like consistently for like the last few years. So
yeah,
he's gonna be there for sure. Saquon will still be there. Anybody that I think that might go up. Man, I'm looking at the rest of the list. Maybe Jonathan Taylor. You know, if the Colts kind of start rolling a little bit, he might get up there.
Mm-hmm.
James Conner.
Yeah, Conner's gonna get the ball.
Arizona. Yeah, Conner gonna get the ball. I really want Bijan to get up there, man. I'm just not sure on Atlanta's offense. They don't really run the ball a lot to me.
No, they don't. And he splits carries.
Yeah.
With Tyler Algier.
I feel like they'll be a lot better if they run the ball.
They definitely would take the ball out of Kirk Cousins' hands.
Yeah. So, I think those are the guys that I think of. But I really do think Stevenson might drop. And it's not going to be like a crazy drop, but I think he'll end up dropping. I don't think consistently him or Jordan Mason got it in them yet, at least.
Mm-mm. Well, Jordan Mason going to get his spot took, so definitely not him when McCaffrey come back.
Yeah, when McCaffrey come back, yeah. So I don't think those guys like Josh Jacobs, Saquon, Kamara, like even Joe Mixon, like these guys been doing this, you know what I mean, consistently where you see them at the top of these lists all the time. Definitely Josh Jacobs. So, I think he's going to move up for sure.
No, I agree. Kyra, who you got, man? I'll give you the top 5 again. J.K. Dobbins at 266, Jordan Mason 247, Josh Jacobs 235, Saquon at 204, and Ramondre Stevenson at 201. Who you think is going to stay? Who's going to drop out of that? I think we might. We'll come back to Kyra. I think his thing might have dropped out. But
oh man.
Oh no, go ahead.
Man.
No, you good. Go ahead.
Muted. Just talking and all right. But yeah, man, J.K. Dobbins will stay. Jacobs will stay. Barkley will stay. Stevenson will stay. And then it's honestly a toss-up for me. I don't think neither one of these guys will stay healthy. And I don't know what's the status of Joe Mixon.
Yeah, that's why I didn't put Joe Mixon up there. Yeah, because he's already starting out being questionable this one. But go ahead.
Well, I think Kamara and Mixon are both question marks to staying healthy. But if either one of them, I'm probably taking Joe.
Yeah.
You got so many weapons on the outside, people are going to be bailing. And I think Joe's going to have his way, man. But I think the leading rusher is right where it's at, I think they're looking at the number one leading rusher. I know y'all said he might fall off, but I don't see it. John Harbaugh was Jim. Yeah, Jim. Jim Harbaugh don't want to really throw that ball.
No.
And Dobbins is looking like, I don't know how the Ravens, I'm not going to stay healthy, but geez, man, like they had a back. This guy's a back. I think he's going to be our leading rusher. Just rushing yards.
Yeah.
Saquon will lead and probably our all-purpose yards because they're going to throw the ball a lot along with probably tomorrow. But, yeah, I think Dobbins is going to be a leading rusher this year.
Hey, I ain't mad at that. I think Dobbins, I don't know if he'll stay at number 1, but, I mean, like you said, Jim, he's going to run the ball. Remember what he was doing with Frank Gore and them. They getting 25, 30 carries some games. So he's going to run the ball, and he does not like throwing the ball. It's just his system. He does not like putting the ball in the air a lot in games. Even when he had Alex Smith, when he had Colin Kaepernick at Michigan, it doesn't matter. He doesn't like throwing the ball a lot, even though this is the most talented quarterback he's probably ever coached. So I'll agree with y'all. I think Dobbins is going to stay in there. Josh Jacobs will stay in there. I would have picked Joe Mixon to be at that number 3 spot, man, but health is just an issue. And then Alvin Kamara, health is always an issue with him. So I'll keep JK in there, Josh, and I'll probably get Saquon to round out my top 3. So last one before we get off here is receiving. We got a true dog in there, number 1, Nico Collins, leading the league in receiving yards by 50 yards. He's got 252. Next closest is Chris Godwin with 200. Jamison Williams with 200 in Detroit. Malik Neighbors with 193. And Justin Jefferson at 5 at 192. And it's like a 10, 12-yard gap between the next guy at 6, and that's Alex Pierce. So, Kyra, I'll go right back to you. Who do you think is going to stay in this top 5, and who's going to fall out, the top 5 receivers?
Yeah. Collins will stay 1. He has the best quarterback.
Yeah.
and he's probably the best receiver of that bunch, Justin Jefferson. Yeah, I'll go Collins 1, Jefferson 2, 3. You know, and I really don't see any of those guys sticking around. I see Tyreek popping up in there. I don't care who the quarterback is. I think they're just gonna start giving the ball in like any form of action. And that's Tyreek. So I still think he's gonna be a top 5 receiver, even with the social that they got for quarterback. But I do not see CD getting it. He's gonna be doubled every game.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's that type of receiver. So, you know, consistently be the double team. We saw him do it one way, but most games he'll be out. I'm really like Nico Collins. I think Justin Jefferson probably be 2. But I'm liking Nico Collins for that top spot.
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think Nico got a great chance to stay at that number 1 because he's Stroud's favorite target, and we got one of the best passing offenses in the league. PJ, I'll let you end it out. Who do you think is going to fall out of this top 5 and who's going to jump in? I'll do it again. Collins at 1, Chris Godwin at 2. Tied with him at 2 is Jameson Williams. They both got 200 yards. Malik Neighbors at 4 with 193 and Jefferson at 5 with 192. Who's going to go in there and who's going to fall out?
I think Neighbors is going to drop. I don't trust Daniel Jones. It's crazy that he's even on this list, though.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, that's crazy. Jameson Williams, he's going to drop.
Yeah.
Godwin may linger around, but he might be like around number 5. I think Collins, I mean, he's already off to a good start. He could possibly stay, even if he's not number 1, he could stay top 3 easily just because, you know, him and Stroud this season, I really think they're going to do a lot of great things for the Texans. So he may stay on there too. It might not be 1, but he'll for sure be around like 3 maybe. Justin Jefferson is for sure going to go up. That's if he stays healthy. That's only if he stays healthy. I'm not really sure how he's looking right now, but I mean, a guy that I'm going to just stay with this guy until he get it together, and there's always going to be Jamar Chase. He always got a chance to go up on this list, you know. Really not off to a good start right now with the Bengals, but he can easily, you know, him and Burrow, they can easily get it together.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that, because Chase, like you said, he's got a chance. Go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe I don't know about CD, man. I don't know about CD this year.
Yeah, I think too many double teams.
Yeah, too many double teams is going to be hard. I'll say another guy, maybe Devontae Smith.
Yeah, and that's who I was going to put in there to round out my list is Devontae Smith, because I think it's the more time A.J. Brown misses, I think Devontae Smith is going to start getting a heavy load in the targets. So at 1, I'm going to go Justin Jefferson. He's at 5 right now, but he's easily going to have the most targets in the league. So I'm going to go Jettas at 1. I'm going to stick my guy in there, Nico Collins at number 2. Chris Godwin's going to fall out. Like PJ said, maybe he'll linger around, maybe 6 or 7 there. Jameson Williams is going to fall out. Malik, he's a dog. He is for sure going to fall out. He's the only one that I'm positive will fall out of the top 5 because like I said, Daniel Jones could go out there and get 5 yards any game. So I think it'll be Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins at 2. And at number 3, I mean, that's tough. If they can stay consistent like what they've been doing, Devontae Adams got a chance to be right back up there. We know can't nobody guard him one-on-one. We'll just see can they throw him the ball. So I like either Devontae Adams or Devontae Smith for that number 3 spot as we're looking forward for the rest of the season. Okay, never mind. I'm tripping. I got Tyreek at number 3, and then that 4 and 5 will be Devontae Adams and Devontae Smith. So I think that's who my top 5 is. So, folks, those are the stat leaders we think that are going to drop out and some that are going to stay in there. Want to thank everybody for watching with us again today. Tomorrow, remember, folks, is the Friday night light edition of Centex Primetime. We're going to have a couple special guests jump on there with us tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube, Centex Sports Network and Centex Sports TV. Go on there and hit that bell so you can get notified every time we go live, 5 to 7 weekdays right here on Infinity Sports Radio, Central Texas, and also on Centex Sports Network. Everybody have a good evening and get to a TV so you can watch this New England versus the Jets game. We will see you guys tomorrow. Good night.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best.